Hello, everyone, and welcome to Round 10 of the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. It's the Budds Creek MX Simulator National live here on Start Your Systems on YouTube and at Esports on Twitch and ESTV. My name is Kellen Brower, as always, and we are ready and set to go here for the 10th round of potential 250 championship clinching round here tonight as we start round 10 of 12 in this championship. And we're going to get pretty much right into it because there's a lot to talk about with the potential clinching scenarios in this 250 championship. Logan Leitzel enters this round 117 points up on Cade Matherly in the championship. That is the only rider still mathematically alive to be able to take Leitzel down, I should say, in this 250 championship. So it's looking like there's a pretty real possibility that Leitzel does actually wrap it up here tonight. He needs to leave here tonight with a 100-point advantage. However, if he's able to leave the first moto with a 125-point advantage, he would already clinch the title at that point as well, 5 motos before the season is done. So we've worked to this point in this season thus far where Leitzel has been slowly pulling this gap out. He won the first 7 rounds of this series and has pretty much made it look easy all the way through. So let's jump right into it. We'll first talk about those qualifying times here this week at the Budds Creek National. And we'll talk about the 450 class first, of course. Payson Johnson has gone fastest at a 1:43.382 with Alexis Leclerc, his nearest championship rival, on a 1:44.5. So you see 1.2 seconds already separating the top 2 there in that 450 class. Trevor Burns, Colby Eaglin, and Sean Hambrook rounding out our top 5 with Tyler Lang down there in 6th. But good to see that it's pretty close, aside from Johnson with that gap at the front, pretty close from Leclerc down to Luke Sullivan, maybe about 2 seconds separating those guys. So hopefully that sets us up for some good 450 racing tonight. I don't think, well, we might have a consolation race. We'll have to see for that 450 class. The 250 class, though, hey, how about this for a new fastest qualifier this week? Max Chwalik, the Polish rider on the can't remember his team name. I'm totally drawing a blank right now, but the Polish rider goes fastest at a 1:45.437, which is 4/10 faster than what Cade Matherly was able to put down. Andonias Kerr, the French rider's back this week, and then the man of the hour, or potentially of the night, Logan Leitzel there, coming in to qualify here for tonight. So as we said, with the championship scenario shaping up in this class coming into tonight, Leitzel with that 117-point advantage basically just needs to not lose 17 points to Cade Matherly tonight, and it's pretty tough to do so, especially given how Leitzel is pretty regularly inside of the top 5. If he is inside of the top 5 today in both motos, the max he could lose is 18 points if Matherly goes 1-1 with Leitzel going 5-5. I think it's pretty realistic we see Leitzel inside the top 5 or maybe even on the podium in both motos. But we'll see whether or not he can actually get it done in the first moto. I think that's kind of maybe the real story to follow here. We know Matherly's been going for these race wins, just trying to click them off as much as he can. But Leitzel has been trying to get this championship these last couple of weeks. The 450 class still a little bit more open. It looks like it's a pretty good shot. We're going to see this thing go all the way to the final round at Fox Raceway in a couple weeks. So no chance of a championship clinching possibility here tonight for Payson Johnson, but he has already mathematically eliminated everybody from Adam Holman 4th on back. So Lang, Leclerc, or Johnson will be your 450 champions this year. But it does seem like Johnson has a pretty good hold of the 450 championship as well. So that's kind of the stories coming into tonight. Pretty easy to follow, I think, especially in the 250 class with the way that the math is going to work out. So let's jump right into it and get racing here tonight at Budds Creek. It looks like we're going to just kind of be hanging out. Well, it looks like Caleb Hall was hanging out on the podium there for a moment, but we are loading in. I'm not sure what we're loading into just yet, but we are either going to be loading into a 450 consolation race or into 250 moto number 1. I'm waiting to see. Usually T-Lang will drop in here and let us know whether or not there is a consolation race or not. If you're just joining us for the first time in the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship, a consolation race is basically a 4-lap last chance qualifier. So everybody that qualified from 37th place on back would then have to race their way into comprised of the 40 riders that compete in the 40-man motos. There's 2 motos today. In each class, the 250 class will go first in terms of motos. We'll have 250 Moto 1. That goes 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Points are awarded from first down to 20th in that class individually per moto. And then we'll have 450 Moto 1 go after that. That one is also 30 minutes plus 2 laps. And then we'll reset the grid again. 250 Moto 2 will go out. And again, individual scoring per moto. And at the end of the day, once we have a total score tallied, let's say, the winner goes 1-2 in the 250 class with his first and second moto scores, he'll earn 47 points on the day and pretty likely be your overall winner, depending on how the scores shake down. If they go 1-1, obviously the math is easy, but we'll try to keep you guys up to date on that throughout the broadcast. 450 moto number 2 would end the show here tonight. And we'll have 4 30-minute plus 2-lap motos on the docket for you guys to watch. Again, if you're just joining us for the first time, this is also the MX Simulator video game, the motocross simulator game, and it does look like we do have, I think, a consi. But this is MX Sim. It's been around since 2008, and we have been running this championship in this game since 2011, so our 12th year of the national championship in this game. The first year that we've been associated with AMA and, of course, Init Esports, which has been a huge collaborative effort with Race Factory Gaming and Init Esports coming together, putting on this championship for us, an AMA sanctioned series, which is really cool. So if Leitzel does get this championship wrapped up tonight, he will also be a AMA champion. Pretty neat to see right there. And it looks like we actually have a 250 consi as well. So 250 and 450 consi. Yeah, so 250 motocross consi going to the line right now. And this is going to be fun. We haven't had consolation races for a couple weeks here, so we're going to see something that we haven't seen here for a little bit on the broadcast. So we'll make sure we got the proper display up for you guys. And it's quite simple how this works out. This is only a 4-lap race, so we're not going to have a timer up for you guys to reference like we will later in the motos, so you guys can see that timer countdown from 30 to running out of time completely, and then those 2 laps added on to the end. It's just a 4-lap race, so we're going to drop the gate, and as you may notice from the track, it's going to go out of the start, left turn, U-turn, go up the hill, around to the bottom of your screen here, and kind of bottom left-hand corner of your screen is actually the finish line jump, and they'll go on to lap 2 right there. So more or less, this is actually a 3-lap race with basically 2 extra added turns on to it. As we get ready to drop the gate in the 250 consolation race, 4 riders go through. Let's find out who they are as we drop the gate here at Budds Creek. Always a tight and tricky first turn as Caden Gross gets there first and lays it down. Going to get ran over there by, I think, Will Clark on the 114. But it does appear that Timmy Briscoe will come out with the whole shot and early lead. So Timmy Briscoe on the 309 MSK machine out front ahead of Reed Candela, with Dylan Gatlin right there in the mix as well. The 174 of Evan Holt also right there with Brent Heitzelman. And Colton Heckman, Damian Lawyer, all in the mix. Interesting to see how many people we have this week for Budds Creek. Maybe just kind of getting towards the end of the season. A couple guys still coming out. We didn't have consolation races pretty much, I think, really kind of through the middle 4 or 5 rounds of this championship. Maybe one loose consolation race here or there. But this is, as mentioned, the last opportunity for these guys to try to make it into the motos right here. There is going to be 40 riders in the motos. 36 of them have already qualified their way into the motos based on the qualification times that they ran. And all of these guys just missed out, and we're 37th on back essentially in terms of timed qualifying. So they have to go to work and try to race their way in with Timmy Briscoe and Evan Holt out front right now. We're taking a look at Reed Candela on the Aspect Visual code number 546. He's currently running in 3rd place, and right behind Evan Holt on that number 174 ahead of him. Holding down our final transfer spot at the moment is Dylan Gatlin, TR Makita Suzuki number 199. Two riders side by side. That's Jack Fowler. Looks like he might get passed up by Damian Lawyer. And oh, that is fourth place going off the track right there. So Lawyer going to take over the spot as they come down off the top up to Henry Hill, the iconic little floater jump here at Budds Creek. And Lawyer will indeed take over the final transfer spot now for this 250 consolation race. Like I said, they're already on lap 2, so this is more or less coming to the halfway point of the consolation race right here. Oh, another rider down. That's Reed Candela. So, Fowler on the 704 will go to the final transfer spot. Dash McMillan and Caden Gross coming through as Reed Candela goes down again. And now the pressure is on Jack Fowler to deliver here. Another interesting thing to think about with these consolation races running is this obviously pushes our schedule back a little bit. We always plan for the consolation races, so it's no harm, no foul for us here on the broadcast, but it does push the schedule that some of these guys have been used to the last few weeks back a little bit, where the 250 class right now would be pretty much racing. The gates would have already dropped for 250 moto number 1 without a consolation race. So if you're Logan Leitzel right now, you're on the precipice of winning a title. Certainly going to play into your mind maybe a little bit that you are not right back on schedule with where you expected to be. As a couple mistakes right there allows Caden Gross through into third. Looks like Fowler will retain the 4th position, but a new 5th place man, Brent Heitzelman, on the 981 Shoals ride. Dash McMillan, Adrian Wilson, and it was Lawyer that made a big mistake off the top of the hill right there. He has gone back from 3rd, now down into 8th. So a tough go there for Damian Lawyer. And we got a little bit of a freight train brewing right here. Heitzelman trying to go after Jack Fowler for the final transfer spot. And this is shaping up to be a good little battle here as Fowler tries to get that drive out of the bottom of the hill up to this big uphill triple. Kind of shorts it, and Heitzelman goes for the big quad over top. Oh, and Heitzelman around the outside is actually going to make that pass on Fowler's stick. So a beautiful move to take over 4th position, but he's getting sideways over Henry Hill, and he's down. A big off for Heitzelman. Allows Fowler back through, but here comes Dash McMillan to the outside, and he makes the pass as well. Well, Jack Fowler doesn't really know what hit him right now. Getting pushed back into 5th by 2 consecutive passes. So McMillan up to 4th. Caden Gross is 3rd. Evan Holt is in 2nd. And our leader since the start of this one, Timmy Briscoe, has now taken the white flag out front. Briscoe pretty much in control from the beginning of this one. Of course, it was Caden Gross who led them into the first turn, but he went down when he clipped his head on those inside hay bales. So Briscoe was quickly able to take over the race lead and has not looked back since. That's always nice to have as well. Briscoe is one of those guys that we regularly see making it into the Fast 36 anyway. So for him, you love to get out front and kind of get away from the chaos behind you. No disrespect, of course, to any of the riders on the track right there, but I think Briscoe thinks of himself as a guy that should be in the motos. And so to kind of let the chaos unfold and have a nice, clean race at the front is always the way that you want to do it in a consolation race. Evan Holt comfortable in 2nd, and Caden Gross is in 3rd with Dash McMillan rounding out the final transfer spot. Jack Fowler is still back there if things get a little bit untidy these last few turns here for Dash McMillan. So we'll see if the 341 Billabong ride can hold on here for the last 5-6 corners of this race. Actually kind of closing up on Caden Gross just ahead of him a little bit. So might be thinking get a little bit more of a buffer if he can by making a late pass here. But that also sets you up for the opportunity to crash if you either override the track or make a bit too of an egregious pass and put yourself on the ground instead. He certainly pushed right up to the rear tire here of Gross here in the last few corners. We'll see how this comes down here with a couple turns to go. Meanwhile, final turn here at the top of the hill through those turning rollers. Timmy Briscoe is going to bring us down, and the 309 MSK ride of Timmy Briscoe is going to win the consolation race here tonight at Budds Creek. He's going to the motos. He will bring with him Evan Holt in 2nd, Caden Gross, and a little sideways there for Dash McMillan. But McMillan will indeed transfer through to the motos as well. 2.1 seconds was the gap for him to Jack Fowler. Adrian Wilson back here in 6th. Christopher McPherson Jr. ends up in 7th with Damian Lawyer, who was in a transfer spot early on. shuffling his way back into 8th. Colton Heckman also out, as is Dylan Gatlin, Reed Candela, Will Clark, Brent Heintzelman, and myself in warm-up mode, all taking an early shower here tonight. So that is the consolation race done and dusted. We'll wait for those last guys to finish up, see if we have any penalties applied. Looks like the top 4 stayed the exact same. So Timmy Briscoe taking the win here in the 250 consolation race. That will now be him and the others going through to 250 moto number 1, which we will see shortly. I'm not sure if we're going to see a 450 consolation race here tonight, but we're about to find out. Always great to have you with us here in the chat. Seeing so many of you, the familiar faces here tonight. Always great to see. And a big shout out to Jet Holyhead. A $2 donation with a little heart emoji. Love to see it. Love you, Jet. Thanks for the support as always. All right, let's see. We do have a 450 motocross consi. Matthew Grist, Jason Stubbs, Zach Fisher, Alex Carlo, Peter Like, Jack Haley, Nick Tomasunas, and Chase Donovan. A lot of people saying just run 44, but the one person I saw saying let's run 44 was Nick Tomasunas himself. So I could understand Tomasunas not wanting to have to go to the consolation race and instead just racing. But yeah, we'll see what they like to do. Sometimes they do allow 44 riders to the gate. I think some people would just prefer that as opposed to, another 10, 15 minutes of time going by with the another consolation race. And then those riders will just start in the back row, basically, that qualified, if you can imagine it, 41st through 44th. I don't think it's exactly that way, but it's about that. And, yeah. Can't see. Doesn't look like we have an official word just yet from race director Tyler Lang onto whether or not we are going to run that consolation race or not. It seems like once they have the scripting in, they usually tend to go forward with it, as we're just running Logan Leitzel's setup here tonight. But now you get to see what Leitzel's going to look like here in a little bit. Eric Hall in chat wants to know, you think anyone will do the big gulp in real life? And I think by big gulp you mean the extended version of it that Ferrandis hit last year, which was the big gulp was the uphill triple, but Ferrandis was quadding it, which we saw a couple people try just a moment ago in tonight's consi. And I mean, honestly, what it all comes down to with that is really how the track builders elect to build that jump. If they build it where it is, lippy enough to get the lift and actually get over 4 of them, then you'll see a lot of guys doing it. I think for Ferrandis last year, he was just the first one to really figure it out. I think now that everyone's seen that Ferrandis can do it, more people will try to do it. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. We'll see. I don't know how they're going to build it this round. Oh, Tyler Lang says no 450 LCQ. So there is the confirmation from the man himself. We are going to go through with those 44 riders on the gate, which means 250 moto number 1 is coming up next. 30 minutes plus 2 laps going to the line right here. And of course, the big storyline is Logan Leitzel, who we were just looking at on the stream here just a second ago. And Leitzel has a shot to clinch this 2022 250 National Championship right here and right now. He has a 117-point lead on Cade Matherly, as you guys may have seen on the scrolling across the bottom. We'll try to update that after each moto, depending on how much the points have fluctuated or changed, or whether or not Logan Leitzel has actually wrapped up the title. We'll also put there on the bottom if people missed out on some earlier action. But Leitzel has a 117-point championship lead. If he leaves this first moto with a 125-point championship lead or more, he is your 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Champion in the 250 class here for MX Simulator. Gets that number 1 plate handed to him, and we'll actually be able to jump on a quick call with him and get an interview with him, talk to him about what it's like to win this championship when he finally gets it done. We all assume that it's probably going to happen here sooner or later. I think even Cade Matherly has conceded that this championship is pretty much done. Just trying to go out there and win motos, of course, and make it last as long as he possibly can. So, is this the championship crowning moto, or are we going to have to wait another or perhaps even more motos before we get to that point? Quick shout out to John Mark in chat for 99 euros. I don't know what the cents version of euros are. In the US, when we use coins, they're called cents. Believe that's mostly the same for any other country that uses a dollar as a currency, but I don't know, because British, they use pence, which are coins, but I don't know what the euro version of a coin is. It's an interesting question I'll have to figure out myself, I guess, unless you guys message. But thank you, John Mark. Appreciate it. Landon wants to know do you think Logan will get it done tonight? Well, that is the magic question, and really the question I should be asking everybody here watching tonight. Do you think this is about to be the crowning moto for Logan Leitzel, or will he actually be able to complete it tonight? Oh, it's more than enough, John Mark. Appreciate it. No matter how much you guys donate, it's always so nice of you guys to even think about doing that. I've been doing this for a decade now, broadcasting these races, and really just do it because I love it. It's so much fun being here with a fun community of racers and gamers and like-minded motocross enthusiasts and so on and so forth. So I've never asked for the money, never really felt like I deserved it anyway. So anything that you guys donated is more than enough. It's special that you guys think of that, of doing that for me. So it's much appreciated, however much you give. Kyle Barnett says, I can't get my controller to connect when I play MX Sim. Anyone have suggestions on how I can get it to work? Well, first, I need to know what controller you're using. If you're using a PlayStation controller, I'd highly recommend looking up DS3 Tool. That's how a lot of PlayStation users use controllers. The last time I used it, I used a PS4 controller, so it may be a little bit different. You might have to look at how your drivers are affected. If you use an Xbox controller on a Windows computer, of course, it's pretty easy. It's plug and play. Xbox being a Windows brand, it'll kind of download the drivers for an Xbox controller for you, so it's not too difficult to do that. But those are the main controllers. I don't know, maybe you're using something different. Maybe you're using a joystick. I don't know, maybe you're using a Guitar Hero controller. I'm not too sure what you're using. Alrighty, we are back in the server and getting ready to drop the gate here in 250 Moto number 1. There is a look at some of our field here tonight. Make sure that we get the timer loaded up and looking groovy. Where's our championship leader is the question, though. There he is, Logan Leitzel. I missed him. Missed him again. Missed him a third time. Where did he go? Well, there's Cade Matherly. Brendan Kennedy says, I have a question for you. That first race looked pretty good from a fan standpoint, but other than that, though, how will the track break down at all, if any, tonight? Thanks. Well, yes, the game does, of course, feature the road system, so you're going to see the track develop throughout the moto. I think because it's Budds Creek, they have it on a lower setting so that it doesn't wear down as much, because Budds Creek is usually a bit of a harder base track. It does get pretty choppy, but I think that they're probably going to run with a little bit of a lower erode setting. So the ruts that you see here, those are all pre-made. Those will get deeper. The bumps you see on the screen will get bigger. But I think it should set up for a pretty good racetrack tonight. We'll see. We're about to find out right now. 250 Moto number 1 loading onto the gate. Let's see. All right, there we go. Perfect timing as we are set up and ready to go. Well, there is a championship on the line. Logan Leitzel looks to win it right here, right now. Can he do it in Moto 1? Let's drop the gate at Budds Creek. The 43 of Trent Adams, just like last week at Unadilla, leads them into the first corner first. A little bit of chaos behind. Logan Leitzel's got a good start, but it is Trent Adams picking up the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. He's got his teammate, Logan Leitzel, right behind him, and that is good news for the 16 if he wants to try to win this moto and clinch this championship early. But it will be Adams to come down and lead them through at the end of the first lap officially. But of course, now we are going to have the first full lap to go around as the finish line jump is out of the second corner of the racetrack. Adams leads, Leitzel second. Brendan Tharp said he didn't have much time on the track this week. He's got a good start, though. He's up in third here on the 53s. He goes over the top. He's going to cause a pileup. A lot of riders down on the inside, and several riders get stacked up. Who gets out of there first? Looks like the 73 of J.R. Ray is just elected to cut the racetrack, but Tharp does get up still in third place. Seth Carr has now moved into 4th place right there, with Reyes slipping back to 5th. You got Jeremy Estrella there in 6th. Jet Holyhead with a good start. He's in 7th. McLaughlin 8th. Jack Gatlin in 9th. And Andonias Curra rounding out the top 10. I do not see Cade Matherly, the man that needs to stop Logan Leitzel from clinching this championship right here, right now, is not in a good position off the start. Almost wonder if he maybe went down through some of that chaos off the top of the hill out of the center off-camber corner. But Trent Adams is still leading his teammate as they head up to the Big Gulp on lap number 2. Neither of these guys, well, looks like, yeah, they both are just going to eke over that quad. But Adams, we'll see how friendly he is here. Of course, Leitzel's got a huge championship lead, so doesn't necessarily need to help his teammate out in any regard. And Adams himself wants to go win a moto if he can help it. But when you have a teammate that's on the precipice of clinching a championship right behind you, and his nearest rival in the championship well down the order, does he maybe allow Leitzel to go and get some breathing room and establish himself at the front? Maybe a bit of a courtesy thing where if they can stay together for long enough, Leitzel will give him the spot back later. But maybe he's not going to think about waiting that much longer anyway. Leitzel to the outside. Adams slides out, and Leitzel takes the lead at Budds Creek. So the word is that Matherly was down in turn number 1, and he is well down the order, waiting to see what timing and scoring officially shows him as. But of course, anytime you crash in the first turn, it is going to put you really far back in the field, because you'll get up behind everybody and have to try to make some early quick passes. But Leitzel now goes to the lead, and if there is ever the prime opportunity for him to wrap up this championship a moto early here tonight, then it is right now, with Cade Matherly down in 27th. So Matherly has a boatload of work to do. Of course, he can only lose 8 points in this moto. Actually, only lose 7 points. If he loses 8 points to Leitzel in this moto, Logan Leitzel is your 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Champion in the 250 class. So for Matherly to keep this championship alive, he needs to get to 4th or better if Leitzel is going to win this moto. It would just mathematically keep the championship alive into the next moto, where, of course, Leitzel could still clinch it anyway. We are still 3 rounds technically here from the end of the season, so it's a huge championship lead. But as of right now, Logan Leitzel is in position to clinch this title 5 motos early, and it all depends on where Matherly gets to in this moto. Trent Adams in 2nd, Braden Tharp in 3rd. Jet Holyhead still running in 4th, with JR Reyes in 5th, and he has remained there even after that early cut. That'll affect him later in the race. There is a penalty system in this game that basically calculates how much time you gain from going off the racetrack and skipping timing gates. There's usually about 50 to 60 timing loops around this racetrack. If you can imagine, there's usually maybe, 1 in every corner, 2 or 3 down the straightaway. So him missing that entire corner plus maybe a little part of that next straightaway, maybe he even missed 2 timing gates right there. And standard deviation is used to calculate in-game time based on how much time he gained from off-track. That'll be applied to his total race time at the end of the moto. So we'll definitely see some penalties applied to Reyes. We'll have to keep an eye on when he's in a close battle like he is right here, right now, with Jack Gatlin on the 50 closing up right behind him. That is the Connect Visual ride, trying to go down the inside on the off-camber. But Reyes holding steady for the time being. Gatlin really pushing up to the rear tire, though, of that 73 SwapMotoLive.com machine. And now Gatlin goes off the track. That might cost him a position, as the 593 of Jeremy Estrella, the Finca backed by SwapMotoLive.com ride, closing in from 7th. Couple scrub dualies off of that little tabletop right there in the center. And then they work their way back out to the far end of the circuit here. Kind of up where everyone's really pit by here at the top of the hill. There's some trucks and stuff on a flat track course. But at least from the starting gate, this is about as far away as you get at the back half of the track behind the lake, as Estrella works on closing up to Gatlin ahead of him. But Gatlin's starting to inch back away as he tries to close up to JR Reyes, still in 5th place ahead of him. Back to the battle for 8th, Johnny Padani, Seth Carr, and I believe that is Bodie Parker there on the 115. Also, all in a bit of a line right here. Padani has the nose advantage right now, but different lines being used. Carr to the inside. You got Parker going outside. Remember Parker last week, a career best 3rd place in Moto 1. He is looking feisty late in this championship, and he's going to make a nice move there on Seth Carr to get into 9th. Goes right after Padani for 8th. Bodie Parker, man, on the move right now on the 115 down the inside. Trying to stay low through these rollers. Oh, little swap sideways. Oh, what a good save, though. And Padani able to keep the position after Parker makes that mistake. It's a little bit of back and forth action as, oh, here comes Estrella. Jeremy Estrella going backwards a little bit as Padani gets by. Seth Carr also got around Parker. I think Parker may have gone down. What a freight train this is right here, though. 3 or 4 guys basically in a single file nose-to-tail line. Johnny Padani at the front of it. Estrella right behind him. Seth Carr on the 35 there in the back of it. Look at Seth Carr to the inside here of Estrella, and they come together, and they're both down. Estrella somehow barrel rolls out of it and stays on 2 wheels, but Carr is certainly off the motorcycle. Timmy Briscoe coming into the fray right there, I believe. Jeremy Siebel on the 18 also going to just get by. Frank Jackson was able to get through as Estrella picks it up just ahead of Frank Jackson on the 32. And an 8-second lead has been established. Logan Leitzel pulling away out front. This is looking like it is going to be his moto to lose, as a nice inside move there by Frank Jackson gets that pass done on Jeremy Estrella. So here is Bodie Parker, who slipped back a little ways. Got Timmy Briscoe, like I said, he is right in the mix. Oh, he just swapped real hard, and he's down going up Henry Hill. He's going to lose a spot to Millie Soderblom. Who else is going by? The 124 of Noah McLaughlin. And just coming into the picture here is Pinkerton and Spicer. Been a little while since we've seen Ryan Pinkerton out here. Good to see the 58 back. Whole shot artist in Moto Option Supercross earlier this year. And actually led a lot of the main events because of it. Coming in there ahead of Sonny Spicer, number 205 machine. Briscoe slips back behind them. You got Caden Specht on the Connect Visual 41 right there. Bryce Whelan out here on a 125 tonight. The Phil's Underground RC number 45. That's your 250 East champion this year. Just having a little bit of fun. He's been in and out of the Nationals this year. We haven't seen him probably about half the rounds of this 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship. But when he shows up, always either contends at the front if he's on his regular machine or has a little bit of fun like he is right here on that 125. Holding down a good position in the points right now as Nick Niles, 713 Vermoto machine back here with Luke Fauser. And finally, we come into Cade Matherly, who is in 23rd place. 151.2 last time by. It sounds like he has had more and more issues with some crashes. And just looking at where everybody is spread out on the racetrack right now, I'm feeling like it's going to be a pretty uphill battle for him to even get into that position to keep this championship alive, as we have 20 minutes left plus those 2 laps. But we've seen some of these guys this year come back from even crazier deficits and get even higher up or into a better position. So we'll see if Matherly can make it happen as he makes a quick move right there. He's now up to 21st place on his number 38 stance machine. Another rider down, so that'll be Matherly into the points now. And he's just trying to chip away at those positions. Get as far up the order as he possibly can. 462 of Luke Fauser right in front of him. Fauser, a very talented amateur racer in real life in his own right. Trying to hold off Cade Matherly, who's going to go down the inside here at the top of the hill and pass the downed rider and get around Luke Fauser as well to move into 18th. So again, just a couple more points that he's picking up along the way, but it still does not matter at all if Logan Leitzel is going to go on to win this moto, which he continues to do so here as we are 10 minutes down, 19 and a half minutes now, plus those 2 laps still to go, and Leitzel looks in full control at the front of the field here. Done this a lot this year, has Leitzel. Been really solid at getting good starts and putting himself in a great position to get the lead early on. Seen him a couple times as well come from bad starts and work his way through the field, but Really, I think his strong suit this year is start up front, stay up front. And he's using that to his advantage here tonight to potentially clinch this championship 5 motos early. Just needs that 125-point advantage. It's 117 entering right now, and it is well over 125 right now with Leitzel in the lead and Matherly down in 18th. Last time we saw, that is a 22-point spread. Leitzel's gathering by himself right now. And as we already talked about a little bit with the math, Matherly would need to get to 4th place with a Leitzel victory in this moto to keep the championship alive, at least for another moto. So the title hanging in the balance, and Logan Leitzel does not look phased whatsoever right now as he has taken the early lead and taken off with this race. His teammate Trent Adams is still in 2nd, but quite a bit of a gap behind. But Jet Holyhead now moving into 3rd place. Holyhead on the Covenant 142. Really putting in the work right now, has made his way into a podium position and is trying to close up onto Trent Adams ahead of him. Now, another thing that's going to be a little bit curious to watch here, though, Holyhead just makes a bit of a mistake, and the 53 of Tharp closes in. Oh, got a little close right there. I was going to say, though, how much is Trent Adams going to play kind of a bit of a blocker here, a buffer on some of these guys? I think Leitzel is doing a perfectly fine job himself of pulling away at the front of the field, but if you're Adams, you're his teammate, maybe you're his close friend, trying to help him out as Tharp goes down in the background. But just to finish that thought on Adams, maybe you defend a little bit harder on these guys trying to get into 2nd place, because ideally, of course, you'd want to keep that position, but you also want to help your teammate out and not allow anybody to get closer to him. So Tharp loses some time, but no positions. He will remain in 4th, and his teammate Jack Gatlin now up into 5th place. And really, our front 5 are well spread out. Gatlin, 5th place, 12 minutes into the moto, 30 seconds off the lead. Just goes to show how much Leitzel is putting in at the front of the field right now. Trying to find ourselves a bit of a battle. Nothing really brewing with this group. We got something kind of close here. J.R. Reyes is slipping back. Frank Jackson looks like he maybe has just gotten around the 73 and is working on closing up to his teammate just up the road right there. That is Seth Carr on the 35. Whoa, Carr missing a timing gate right there. Camera's not updating. That's Johnny Padani down. Did not fall off the motorcycle, but did lose 2 positions. And we'll say that many times tonight with a fall-off crash, legs-off crash, whatever you want to call it. In MX Simulator, you cannot actually fully fall off the motorcycle. Your body, your legs can detach, and your arms will always stay on the machine, but you will actually not be able to do anything if your legs fall off the motorcycle. You will just fall to the ground, just kind of lay over. Eventually the legs will reattach to the bike and you'll slowly pick yourself back up. And when we reference that, a fall-off crash usually takes about 8 to 12 seconds depending on how long the initial crash happens. If you crash and roll for a long time, it's usually going to take a while to remount. But if you just tip over right away and your legs are pretty close to the bike, you can pick it up pretty quick. So when someone's in that 8 to 12 second range of someone ahead of them, you always have to count the fact that there may be a crash that comes into play here. And it's common in MX Simulator. This game is not easy. Any of you at home right now watching this, depending on where you're watching, it doesn't matter. If you want to try this out, head over to mxsimulator.com. That's all one word, mxsimulator.com. And you can try out the demo for yourself. Even in arcade mode, this game is not that easy to play. So these guys right now that are racing and competing and battling one another on the racetrack, this is the cream of the crop, folks. The best riders in the world who have put thousands of hours into this game to even be as competitive as they are. And still, at the end of it, even after the thousands of hours, it's impressive when you see someone like Leitzel who's had the season that he has, which has been truly one of the more dominant 250 national championships in the history of this game. Funny little tidbit from chat right now is it sounds like Logan Leitzel's racing this moto with motocross goggles on. So that's it's going to be interesting to see. Did already line up with him tonight that if he's able to clinch this championship tonight, we'll actually jump on a video chat with him and talk about this moment for him and what it feels like to win an AMA National #1 plate as well, as this is the first official AMA Esport Motocross Championship ran this year. And you're an AMA National Champion if you win this series, so always kind of cool to see how that ties into it as well. And for Leitzel, it's probably cool as well to have that tied in because he is a professional in real life. So he has an AMA Pro license, races Supercross and Motocross, races in Canada. No slouch, and it'd be really awesome to add that video game #1 plate to his mantle as well. So we'll talk to him about it maybe sooner than we think, because there's only 15 minutes left of this moto. And right now, he is still in position to clinch 5 motos early. Battle for second, though, is heating up as Jet Holyhead is putting the heat on Trent Adams for the 2 spot. Holyhead to the inside. What a move by the 142. Just hooking that inside rut and saying sayonara. Adams gets kicked sideways on the downhill. A nice save by the 43. Whew. Good one, actually. Could have easily went down on the rear tire of Jet Holyhead, but Holyhead has now moved into second place. Logan Leitzel, our leader, was off the track momentarily. This gap has come down quite significantly here. 12.1 seconds is the gap that it shows right here. Let's see if it stays that way, because Leitzel just went off the racetrack and he's dealing with some lap traffic. No, it's down to 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I'm gonna have to call somebody out in chat here. Thunder MX says if Jet wins, he'll donate $500. You better put your money where your mouth is. You got 10 seconds separating the man that you put up the bounty for from doing it. 9.8 actually. Holyhead is coming. 54.2 for Leitzel last time by. 3 seconds gained for Holyhead that last lap alone. We might have a different winner here tonight. That would be fun to see as well. And Holyhead right now, the man on the mission. Difference is Holyhead is now going to have to go through that same little spat of lap traffic that Leitzel has already made it through here. There's 4 riders separating him and Leitzel in this little 9-second gap that he has to him. Off the top of the hill, though, you can see those lappers right in front of him, and that gap is still just kind of slowly inching down. See how well these lap riders get out of the way. Pretty good job right there. They're still kind of fighting back on the inside. Got a little dicey there, actually, for a minute. More riders down, but those, of course, are the lapped riders. And we're going to get a lap time check right here real quick with Holyhead putting down another 151, this time a 151.4, 153.9 last time by for Logan Leitzel. So Holyhead, clearly the man with the speed on the racetrack right now. We'll see if he can convert this into a potential race victory as the time winds down. Wanted to go back and find where Cade Matherly is. Here he is off the top of the hill in 13th, coming over Henry Hill right now. 49.6 last time by. He's the man on the move right now as well, putting down some ridiculously good lap times. The problem that he's going to run into right here is he is in 13th place, and he's got a long road up to where 4th place is in this moto. So we'll go up to 4th place and give you guys an idea. So there's that off-camber turn in the background where Leitzel needs to come to. 4th place right now is well past that turn, even coming down. I mean, geez, 4th place is so far ahead of where Cade Matherly is. So we'll watch here, though, and you guys can see this gap. This is where Matherly needs to get to right now with Tharp. Then you got Gatland coming up the hill. He is in 5th. That's Gatland right there jumping up the hill. 6th place, I think that's Seth Carr. No, that's Frank Jackson. And then I think his teammate was right there behind him. Andoni Ezcurra also in the mix. And there is Johnny Padani jumping over the top of the hill. There's Jeremy Siebold on the 18 coming into the picture. And then believe it's another Phil's KTM next. Yeah, that's Seth Carr right there. And then this is J.R. Reyes, I believe, coming up the hill on the 73. Bodie Parker. 212 machine. And, oh, there is Cade Matherly. Went a little bit too far. So that just shows you the gap that he has got to make up. Bodie Parker would be next on his list. The lap rider is in between them. But he has got to get to 4th place if Logan Leitzel's going to win this moto. If Leitzel finishes 2nd, then Matherly needs to get to 6th place, I believe, to keep the championship alive. As a 6th place finish would be 15 points versus the 22 that Leitzel would pick up for finishing in 2nd. And it's that 7-point swing or greater. Well, it's an 8-point swing, really. If 8 points go in the favor of Leitzel in this first moto, he is your champion. As J.R. Reyes and Bodie Parker have a little bit of an intertwined battle right there. Parker gets the best of Reyes for the time being and takes over what I believe is 11th place. Seth Carr, Jeremy Siebold, and Donias Kura looks like he just picked himself up from a crash and now is side by side with Jeremy Siebold. Right after the finish line jump right here, through that off camber, and Siebold gets a little bit wayward and has to back out of the challenge. So as Kura holds on to the position, Johnny Padani, Frank Jackson, Jack Gatlin, Braden Tharp. There's Trent Adams, Jed Holyhead, and then Logan Leitzel just coming over Henry Hill right there. Gap update 15.1. So Holyhead has had his issues. 52.8. Leitzel re-upped his pace now down to a 50.9. Pulled this thing out to a 15-second gap with 7.5 minutes left to go in this moto. Whew. Lap traffic getting a little kick sideways there in front of Holyhead. Just trying to weave his way around those guys. And now, pretty long while before he'll hit the next little group of lap riders, but it seems like he's coming unraveled a little bit. His pace is off. And a new 3rd place man. Wow, Trent Adams has really started to fall apart here. Jack Gatlin has now moved up into 3rd place. He still has teammate Braden Tharp right behind him. And it's interesting to see because Tharp came into this race saying he had such limited time on the track he didn't think he was going to do that well tonight. Well, he's trying to take over 3rd place from his teammate, and he does so. What a move by the 53 Braden Tharp, getting it done on Jack Gatlin. Trent Adams on the 43 is still right there in the background, so this is currently a 3-rider battle for 3rd on the racetrack. Let's see if Gatlin can respond. Maybe Adams gets back into the mix as well. Tharp made a little bobble, kind of push out of the hook in the rut, I should say. There at the bottom of the hill, Gatlin closed back up, and now some more lap traffic will come into play here. Whew. Nicely done, though, in the end. Lappers getting out of the way, not getting into the mix. Leitzel now out to a 20-second lead as Tharp continues to deal with the pressure from Gatlin. Adams trying to fight back. I think he came together. Yes, he's down. Adams down on the face of this jump. Gonna slide back to 6th. Trying to get it turned around before teammate Johnny Padani gets there. Padani is just gonna jump right behind him now. Not quite make that pass just yet, but Adams certainly sliding down the order. So Frank Jackson went by. That was the only actual pass that was made, because Gatlin and Adams were side by side, of course. Go back again, see Cade Matherly now up into 11th. But again, it's the positioning really doesn't matter right now for Matherly. It's where 4th place is on the racetrack, which is right here. So he is about 3 corners behind them. It's getting closer for sure. Definitely a much more possible scenario as this moto gets later into it, but he's going to need some help. Back to a battle here between, I think that is Padani and Donias Kura. This is for 6th, I believe. Excuse me, 7th. Trent Adams just ahead of them is in 6th. Padani through the front door goes down after the finish line jump. So Siebold right there will go by. Seth Carr right there also goes by. Was that Logan Leitzel lapping these guys? No, okay, so that was a lapped rider. But Padani picks it up now behind Seth Carr. Cade Matherly would be the next person to fall to Padani if Padani goes down again. I just feel like at this stage of it, it's going to be a long shot. He's going to have probably 4 more laps to try to make it happen to get all the way up to 4th place. But even so, 4th place is still so far away. And there's a lot of guys he has to pass to get there. Leitzel's lead, 23.7 seconds. So it's not going to be over until it's officially over, but it's looking like it is going to fall the way of Leitzel in this first moto. All right, back to this close battle between Trent Adams and Andonia Ezcurra. Ezcurra to the inside, makes a nice pass. Adams slips back another position. Siebold to the inside of Seth Carr. See if he makes that work on the 18. Oh, it's close. Side by side up over the first step up out of turn 1. Do this long left-hand sweeper. Oh, Siebold almost laid it down and went off the bike right there. That was a little bit too close for comfort for the 18. Then back to Johnny Padani, and Matherly has now closed on Padani for 10th. So to Matherly's credit, he has done a pretty remarkable job at actually catching people. It's not that he's just making passes on guys that are either going down or slipping back a little bit. Good on Matherly to recover from this, because he could have easily said, well, that's it. Championship's out of reach. 2nd place is pretty much a lock for him this year. The 2 French riders of Johan Bordeaux and Nathan Prin are 3rd and 4th respectively, but neither of them are here tonight. So Matherly isn't losing points per se to anybody behind him. But I think he still wanted to keep this thing going for as long as possible. Seth Carr and Trent Adams now battling it out. Carr to the inside before the drop down. Makes the pass stick on Adams. A nice little aggressive push to the inside. Shows a line that not many people have taken, but just kind of banked off of that rut. Gets the pass done on Adams. So here is our leader. 1.5 minutes still on the clock, plus those 2 laps. And at the very least, commend Logan Leitzel for doing everything he needed to do to try to clinch this title right here, right now. He has gotten the lead early, got a good start, pulled away. I think he had a mid-race crash that kind of pushed him back to Jet Holyhead a little bit. And then as soon as Holyhead got into second, he started making those mistakes instead. So kudos to Leitzel, because he has not faltered one bit today. With the pressure of the championship looming, it's going to be his first professional championship in this game. He is not a regional supercross champion. I don't believe he's won a GP title, but this is going to be a huge, huge moment for Logan Leitzel. Actually, I want to stick with him here for just a minute, because I want to see whether he's going to get another lap in here, which of course would help Cade Matherly. He's got 30 seconds till time right now. And we're going to see if he gets back to the flag stand before time expires. It's actually going to be pretty darn close. I think he's just going to get there. Oh, that's not going to help. That is definitely not going to help. He is not going to make it back to the flag stand. So that actually will help Leitzel more than he realizes in this scenario. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and time. So 2-lap board about to come out. He definitely would have made it back in time. It'd have had about 5 seconds to spare. But man, oh man, the 2-lap board is out just like that. So I don't think he crashed on purpose, but that is funny the way that just worked out right there to help the 2-lap board come out. So 4th place still is Jack Gatlin. Let's see where Matherly has gotten to. He is on Big Gulp, so he is only 1 straightaway behind 4th place. But I still got so many guys to get through. Andonia Ezcurra goes down. That's going to be 9th. And he's got Trent Adams right in front of him. So this is Leitzel's teammate. Let's see what happens here with Matherly trying to get around Trent Adams and see how quickly he could potentially get it done as he continues to try to march forward. Adams a mistake. Matherly scrubbing up to the top of the hill to the inside line. Let's see if he gets this roller clean. Adams is fighting back hard to the outside, and a mistake. Matherly not going to get the pass done. The rear end just slid out on landing. So Adams holds on to 8th. Carr 7th. Siebold 6th. Jackson 5th. And here is Gatland in 4th, jumping down off the top of the hill. This is where Matherly needs to get to if the championship is going to remain alive for another moto. The white flag will be displayed shortly as our race leader, Logan Leitzel, going to come through the mechanics area yet again. Yellow flags are out. Rider down over the step up. It's a lapped rider, though. Looks like they have just gotten up and out of the way as well. So Leitzel's going to come in. This is the final lap of the race about to begin. And perhaps Logan Leitzel's crowning moment for 2022. Let's find out if he does it. He's going to take his time and try to smooth things out on this last lap of the race. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd about to commence. This is 4th place, Jack Gatlin, closing on teammate Braden Tharp. And if those two get together, that actually would help Matherly's case. But I don't know, man. I think Matherly is too far back to make this a reality. He's got a lap and a half, basically, to try to get it done. I think he's going to fall just short, but we'll see how it plays out. Tharp through that inside line. A steady pace trying to maintain that gap to teammate Jack Gatlin behind him. I think at this stage of it as well, if either of these guys go down, they're going to get up basically with Matherly. I think that's how close Matherly has got it. So we're going to have to wait, even though Leitzel will cross the line with the victory. We'll have to wait to make sure that 4th place crosses before we can confirm that it is Leitzel as the 2022 champion. But the final lap of this race, Leitzel playing the last lap, standing up is the word in chat right now. I think he is stoked, and he should be. Honestly, people in this game, people who watch this game, sometimes there are people out there that say it is too try-hard. It is too ridiculous how hard people put effort into this game and devote the time into this game. But anybody that's ever played it, anybody that's ever competed at the highest level understands, and they know the competitive aspect of this game, the competition of going to the line and trying to win these races. It is fearsome. It is hard to do what Leitzel has done this year. It is hard to win even a single race. Just ask me. It took a long time for me to get it done. Leitzel's won plenty of them. He's going to add another win to his mantle here right now. Will he win the championship? Let's find out here in a few moments. Either way, Logan Leitzel wins Moto 1 here at Budds Creek. We will see as they cross the line if that is the championship. Jed Holyhead, a valiant effort in his return ride here tonight. Certainly put the pressure on Leitzel at one point early in this moto, but we'll have to settle in for 2nd place. Holyhead over the line P2. Tharp still in 3rd. Gatlin still in 4th. Jackson 5th. Siebold 6th. Matherly has made it to 7th. But this is the man to watch to clinch the title here for Logan Leitzel. Holyhead over the line. Here comes Braden Tharp to the flag. Tharp on the 53 will pick up 3rd in this moto. Jack Gatlin comes across the line. And there it is, folks. Your 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Champion, Logan Leitzel. The 250 National Champ already on the box, celebrating. We'll get him on the line here shortly as Jackson crosses in 5th, Siebold 6th, and Matherly will cross the line in 7th. Unofficially, we'll have to wait for those cuts to come in, but unofficially, Matherly has lost 11 points in this moto. It is a 128-point lead now in the championship, which is insurmountable for anybody to eclipse. So it was Adams, Padani 8th, Adams 9th, Ezcurra 10th, Seth Carr 11th, Seth Shirley in 12th, Bodie Parker coming to the line. He is going to pick up 13th. JR Reyes will come across in 14th, and the last man on the lead lap, Sonny Spicer, will pick up 15th in this moto. Estrella 16th, McLaughlin 17th, Luke Fowler 18th, Nick Niles 19th, and Millie Soderblom 20th. We're waiting for one rider to come through to confirm cuts. We'll take a look at Matherly so we know where he moves to in terms of a cut position. And it has been confirmed. Logan Leitzel is your champ in 2022. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to try to get Logan Leitzel on the horn right now and talk to the recently crowned champion. And I think we're actually going to be able to get him on for a video chat as well. So that'll be fun if we can get to talk to him as well. But of course, we're going to let him celebrate for just a moment. This has been one heck of a moment. And we're going to go ahead and start a video call right now with the man of the hour, Logan Leitzel. Popping him up on screen right now. Let's see if we can get him.
Is it loading?
The video doesn't look like it's loading. But anyway, congratulations, Logan Leitzel, your 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Champion in the 250 class. Boy, oh boy, fun moto to watch with you pulling away there. How does this one feel, though?
This absolutely feels incredible. You know, I did what I needed to do. You know, I got to give a big shout out to the boys. I'm trying to get the camera on right now for you. You have no idea how bad I want it on. I think I got to end my stream real quick. So let me end my stream. Okay, so that's ended. But dude, honestly, I raced that entire race with tinted goggles on, and I have no idea how I won. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we were getting some updates in the chat. People were saying you're standing up on the last lap of the race right there. You're obviously excited, and then the goggles is funny too. Did you have tear-offs or roll-offs, I heard, as well?
Yeah, tear-offs were being pulled the entire race, and I still won by 20 seconds. I have no idea how. I'm actually going to just quickly DC Reese and hope it works, okay?
Okay,
I'm really trying to get my camera on.
All right, well, we'll hit Logan Leitzel back in just a moment and see if we can get him on, but obviously, huge congratulations to Logan Leitzel. We're going to try to get him on the horn. Appreciate, first of all, Tyler Lang, the race director, for allowing a few moments here on the broadcast to get Leitzel on the stream so we can at least congratulate the man of the hour to get it done here tonight. Looks like we're going to get a video call going. Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at, he's holding the number one plate upside down. He's got the champagne. He's got the goggles. He had a beautiful time, a beautiful race. Wow. What a setup.
Unreal. I even got the jersey on backwards for you, Kellen.
I love it. I love it. I'm surprised you don't have the number one jersey made up, though, bud.
I wasn't. Oh, we ain't planning that far ahead now. That's just too much, yeah.
Oh, man. Ripping tear-offs all the way. Well, obviously, many congratulations. I guess what we want to ask you, though, is, you know, where did this year come from? You've had many races and successes over the years, but this one was another level, man. You won the first 7 rounds of the championship. It was your championship from pretty much the first round. Where did it come from?
Oh man. Well, so last year, you know, I was ripping towards the end of the year, and it was actually really funny. But after Supercross in real life, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go race, you know, some nationals and go race, you know, Canada and stuff. And then I told my buddies online, I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna win the sim title too. And dude, I don't know, man. Like I guess for me, like in the races, I just don't get really like flustered, like mentally. And whereas everyone else kind of like, you know, they have a couple crashes, they get kind of flustered. Where every moto, I just kind of put it to them. And I don't know, I just always felt like I was the best, and I kind of kept that mentality all year.
Yeah, well, mentality-wise, obviously, like you say, you race professionally. So how does that like like tie into, you know, what you feel on a professional track where you kind of feel a racer out in front of you, how you pass them and all that stuff and set them up? How's that tie into racing this?
I mean, honestly, a lot. Like, a lot of people, like, will laugh at it when they think that, like, you know, no way it ties into this. Like, there's no way that's even possible. But you'd be so surprised how many motos this year where I would be hitting lines that nobody would even think of, because the track is getting rough in one area. And then if you just, you know, double this bump or jump this bump into this corner, like, it will gain so much time.
Right.
And it's the same thing with these guys in the game. Like, I setting them up for passes and stuff. Like, it is crazy how much it transitions from being a pro in real life.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, of course, many congratulations on your championship. We'll let you go celebrate. Of course, lastly, though, we just want to ask, you know, who do you want to thank this year for getting you to the top?
Oh, man. Well, everybody in the Discord, honestly, the entire Yogi Discord, they literally like cheered me on every step of the way. They were screaming the last lap. My buddy Austin Bear spotted me all year. my buddy Luke Sullivan, Trent Adams, Braden Tharp, Johnny Padani, like the list goes on. Jeff Cooper, Devin Davis, all those guys. Even my girlfriend tunes into the streams, which is unreal. But she's watching. I'm sure I'm getting text messages. I'm just it's crazy out here. My dad's watching. It's unreal, unreal the support right now from the fans. But no, again, and thank you for streaming. You single-handedly keep this game alive in some aspects. So thank you, Kellen, and it's been great. It's been fun.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll let you go celebrate. Pop that champagne bottles. Have a good time, man. Love to see it. Love to see it. Congratulations, Logan. And hey, man, have fun. Go win that second moto, right?
I'm gonna try, man. The goggles are definitely not going back on. They hurt.
Okay.
Yeah, let's have some fun, man.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was always fun. Good to see Logan Leitzel, and many, many congratulations, of course, to him. Well, the fun has been had in the 250 class. We still have some fun to have in the 450 class, trying to figure out how we're going to come back from the entertainment that we just had. Logan Leitzel there on the stream having a blast and showing us what it's really all about, having fun playing video games, winning championships, and taking home #1 plates. Love, love, love to see it. All right, we're getting loaded back in. 450 Moto 1 should be loaded onto the gate, but again, want to give a huge thank you to Tyler Lang, the race director, for allowing us to have a little bit of a moment there. Get Logan on the stream, give him his due time and due process, because, of course, that was really cool for him to win this championship and finally get something wrapped up and clicked off for him. I think this has been building all year long, where he feels like he said that the championship was going to come his way. Now it's done. Now he doesn't have to think about that anymore. He can just go have fun and go race. So a lot of fun being had here, and congrats to Logan Leitzel. All right, 450 Moto 1 on the gate. There is the man in the 450 class with that championship lead. Just want to real quickly update something else if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to this in time, but I think I'll be able to fix it. And save that. Boom, bada bing. All right. Woo! All right. Still coming down. The adrenaline was rushing there. Leitzel was hyping me up. Love to see you guys having a good time in this game. Okay, folks, 450 Moto 1. Payson Johnson, a 43-point championship lead over Alexis Leclerc. He has been kind of working it back up. It's been up and down a little bit. Leclerc has eaten away at that championship gap, and then Johnson has responded. He emphatically won the second moto at Unadilla last week to even out that points tally that Leclerc was trying to gain on him on the day. And we'll see what he can do here tonight at Budds Creek. Like we said, it's still pretty much it's impossible mathematically for him to clinch the championship here tonight, but he can still pull out a pretty substantial lead. The scenario in the 450 class is if Johnson has a 50-point championship lead or more after next week's Ironman National, he will be your champion, of course. But we're not there yet. We won't get there tonight. This is all about whether or not Leclerc can keep this title fight rolling along all the way to the final round, or whether someone like Tyler Lang can also get in the mix. Of course, Lang is 63 points down entering here tonight. So what is about to happen? We got 44 riders going to the gate. This is about to be a stacked one for this 450 class. Got to pop up the moto timer. Get loaded in. There we go. Loaded in. It looks like we're waiting on a couple people still anyway. The 167, it's Blake O'Brien, I believe. There we go. Loaded in. Whoops. All right, here we go, folks. 30 minutes on the clock. We are set up and ready to go. I still have 250 Moto 1 on there. Why did I do that? I'll have to change that in a little bit. Sorry, it's 450 Moto number 1 right now at Budds Creek. As we're off and running. Leclerc's got a great start down the inside. Looks like we were watching Burnsy. He got shuffled way back. And Leclerc ran really deep. I cannot pick out who got the whole shot. It is Rogan McIntosh, the stance number 60. I saw Leclerc almost in the water outside of turn number 1, though, so he got pushed way out there. McIntosh almost over the bars, does eventually go down. The 3 front leaders all down in a heap right there. Dylan Copeland takes over the lead at the end of lap number 1. Alex Carlo on the 257, he's up there as well. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. So where the heck is everybody? We're trying to figure out. Well, it looks like T-Lang with a terrible start. He's in dead last, 43rd place right now. Oh, red flag out. Red flag. So a red flag is out. That'll allow me to actually fix this. So apologies that this was misaligned. But 450 motor number 1 going to the gate. And I'll wait to reset the timer till, yeah, we just got to reset in the server. So red flag was out. Not sure what happened. And huge shout out real quick to Brian IB, I believe it is in chat. I always get it wrong whether it's LB or IB, but I think it's IB. So Brian Ib says thank you and donates $20. So thank you so much, Brian. Really appreciate the support. And yeah, I got a red flag going on in here. So not sure what happened. Usually that's something related to scripting causing that red flag. So we'll see what it is, what happened, and whether or not it's rectified here at the start of 450 Moto number 1. Almost wonder if perhaps Blake O'Brien's game crashed, and that's what it was. Looks like we're loaded back onto the gate, so let's get our Moto timer displayed, up and ready to go. And this time we are set to drop the gate. Here we go, 450 Moto 1 at Buds. Let's do it again. Wow, several people hitting the gate. Who got the main jump going to the first corner, trying to pick out who it is. This time Leclerc's going to slide out. Brandon Larson, B-Lars on the 531, picks up the Studio 8. Oh, shit. B-Lars out front. Chris Post in second. Posty doing some filming at Unadilla last weekend. Knows how to get it done behind the lens. And this time T-Lang after 43rd, but I think he was trying to restart the moto, so I don't think that's officially where he started on the first start, but he's in a good spot here in second place early on. Posty up in third. You got Payson Johnson in fourth. Don't see Leclerc just yet, but trying to see where I can see the 7 poke his head out. I think he's still got a pretty good start, even though he tucked the front end going into the first corner. B-Lars, though, leading him around. Good to see 531, a stance ride out here. Hashtag CC153, Carson Carr. Always repping the love for cable car. Leading him around here at Buds, though. Posty in second now. Got around the number 1 of Tyler Lang. Lang's going to get it right back. And it looks like Johnson might get to the inside as well as Trevor Burns on the 28. Also in the fray. Don't see the 7 just yet of Alexis Leclerc. Outside line for Lang, inside line for Johnson. Larson a mistake, gonna go 3 wide over the table perhaps. Almost now 3 wide down up to Henry Hill. Who's gonna get the lead? They're 3 wide over Henry Hill. Baylor is getting upside down. Absolutely turned as Lang goes to the outside to try to take the lead, and he does so. What a beautiful move by the 1. Read that one like a book because Lars was going to the inside, trying to block the line. Johnson moves up into second place. It's pandemonium at the front here at Budds Creek. Woo! Johnson, front end, getting a little light and loose. Lang's going to lead him down, though, to complete lap number 2 with Johnson hot on his heels. And usually when we see Johnson start out front, he's able to quickly go to the lead and pull away, but this is Tyler Lang. We're talking about reigning national champion and current world championship leader in the MXGP championship. That series also put on by Race Tractor Gaming and Init Esports. You can check both of them out at initesports.gg. It's all one word. Or racetractorgaming.com. Again, all one word. Battle for the lead, though, is on in the 450 class here at Budds Creek. Side by side into this table in the middle. Dooley is not too big, though. Johnson being modest with a scrub. Lang trying to hold the outside line, keeping it absolutely wicked out there, brah. Johnson pushing right up to that rear tire of Lang, though, and maybe trying to put the number 1 machine into a bit of a mistake as they both launch down off the top of that hill And U-turn to the bottom, outside line working best for both up to the big gulp, and they can both scrub the quad because they get such a drive. Lang a little long on landing, kind of cases. Johnson, he had that inside line, but just could not hook that rut clean enough. So Lang fights back to the outside, maintains the race lead. As they go up and over Henry Hill, both of them scrubbing it nice and tidy. Johnson to the inside. Let's see if this line might work. No, just couldn't hook that inside well enough. So Lang hopping down the hill. Johnson is falling in along behind him. Scrubbing down up to that finish line jump, and Lang continues to lead on to lap number 4. Leads opening up a little bit as well. I think it's Trevor Burns that has moved into third place behind them. Haven't seen Leclerc's name pop up. I think he's actually inside of the top 10, though. Got to do better next time I see that leaderboard go through. Trying to keep an eye on this lead battle, though, because these two are pushing each other. Lang is just dealing with an earful of Payson Johnson right now. 51 machine is relentless on the attack. Hasn't quite found the door of opportunity just yet to try to make a pass, but he's been so close, pushing the envelope. In each corner, dualies up big gulp. Lang short again. Let's see if Johnson gets this inside line. Well, Lang blows the outside line, and Johnson takes over the lead. Johnson is advancing as he takes over the race lead here at Budds Creek. So can Lang respond? These two have seriously put down a remarkable pace here on the opening couple of laps. But Burns, he's still hanging in there. He's 3.4 back in third. And it is Leclerc in fourth now. So Leclerc able to come through pretty early on. 150 flat. I want to get a lap time check. We'll see what Johnson's running out front. Phew, 146.8. And the big dog eat on his Fortnite passenger number 51. New team this week for Johnson. And goes 45.3. Unbelievable. 47.1 for T-Lang. Burns at a 46.6. He's running strong right there on his Fortnite passenger ride. Ooh, Leclerc went down. Yes, he is off the bike as well in those turning rollers. That is going to be a bit of a blow there for the number 7, the 4-time national champion. And Bilar is down on the 531 up the hill out of the off camber as well. So Leclerc gains another spot back. So Blakely, the only person that really got around him, Leclerc is still 5th, is Trevor Burns 4th. Lang in 2nd, Burns 3rd, Lang 2nd, and Johnson our race leader now. And look at the gap he's already opening up on Lang out front. Yellow flag's out for a downed rider, but it may have just been a lapped rider that disconnected mid-crash. Johnson down off the track at the bottom of the hill there. That's going to give Lang an ample opportunity to close back in tight. Scrubbing over that tabletop, coming down the hill, landing in transition through those ruts. And Lang back on the rear tire of Johnson again. Curious to see here if Lang kind of tries to see what lines Johnson is doing that helps him kind of get away a little bit. Obviously, these guys, they all qualify. They all put their time in. They feel out the track. They find what's best for them, hit those marks a little bit. But sometimes even at an early stage of the race like this, you kind of see what someone is doing differently than you. It's not that difficult in this game to pick up on a line that someone's doing if it's a little bit faster. Could just be an angle to a corner even. It's still hitting the same rut, but you're just angling into it differently. It's little subtleties like that you pick up on, you learn from, try to apply it to your racecraft, and your lap times slowly start to drop. It's oftentimes why we see some of the fastest laps on the racetrack ever ran during the motos, because you get these guys in a flow, trying some different things out, the track wearing out. Obviously, the ruts are getting a little bit bigger as well because the road system is evolving the racetrack. So Johnson starting to pull it back out just a little bit again. Not a big gap. You can still see Lang lurking back there. Burns in third place. Starting to fade just a little bit further into the distance, but he's back there. Not doing too shabby. Blakely fourth. Wow, Larson up to fifth. Holmes sixth. Cooper seventh. Leclerc back to eighth. Rough go of it for the 7. 2 crashes early on have really put him on the back foot here. So for now, he is going to try to go back after this little trio of riders right ahead of him, including Jeff Cooper, who will be the first man that he runs into here. The Yogi 117. Then it's the 17 of Adam Holm. The old nemesis there to Leclerc. Look at Leclerc's drive down to Henry Hill, scrubbing off the top. Going to go to the outside here at the bottom. Is this going to be a pass? Good grief, that corner speed is incredible. Inside here, and honestly rather easy as Brandon Larson goes down again. So that's going to be 2 spots gained for Leclerc. Can it be a third on Adam Holm? Indeed it can. Leclerc up into the top 5 once again. So now he's got a pretty sizable gap to work to Chase Blakely, who just is in the corner after the finish line jump. Probably about 8-9 seconds up to Blakely from Leclerc now. And then even further up to Trevor Burns, who is still running a strong third place. He's only a few seconds behind Lang, but he is 14 or so seconds ahead of Blakely. Got a nice gap working. Oh, that's not going to do, though. Front end tuck and sliding down the outside camber of the racetrack right there. Pretty lucky, actually, not to pirouette and then land on his head. Sometimes you see guys kind of hook when they're sliding like that. Just pops them up a little bit awkwardly and then bam, land right on their head. Instant legs off crash. Always hate to see it, but it does happen from time to time. So Burns still holding on to third place as Lang trying to keep Johnson within arm's length, but it is slowly inching away. Johnson's just doing a few tenths here and there, it seems like. 45.6 last time through. 45.3 is still his best as he works through some lap traffic here. 47.1 this time by. 11 minutes down, 19 minutes to go. 47.6 for Lang, so half second gain that lap alone for Johnson, which is a little bit less than it had been evolving to. Johnson was pulling about a second a lap up until that point. But Lang just trying to just keep it close. It's all you can kind of do with Johnson and the pace that he runs and just hope that he makes a mistake. We've seen a couple times this year, Leclerc particularly was able to a few times run Johnson's pace, but otherwise Johnson, speed-wise, has been the class of the field. It just comes down to his racecraft and pace, is whether he's been able to hold on to win these motos. Lang hopping off the top of the hill. Give him credit, though. He has brought it back down under that 3-second mark. He is really finding his groove around this track right now. Track is probably at the best it's going to be. That's not going to help. Oh! Lands right on top of the downed number 69 of Nick Tomasunis. Nowhere to go for Lang. Just a blind crest on that hill, and Tomasunis going down on the backside of it. Going to take Lang from a couple seconds back to... Oh, actually, Johnson was down before Henry Hill, so excuse me. Battle for the lead is back on, just like that. Johnson, couple mistakes. Lang closed up tight right there. Almost went down off the side of the track. Nothing in it, though, just a few tenths. And then Burns right back into a bit of the fray here with a 3.9 deficit to our race leader. Leclerc 20 seconds down in fifth, so another couple crashes for our leaders, and Leclerc actually stands a chance to get up here. One thing that Johnson has kind of working against him that he doesn't always have is with Lang right there. Lang is one of the few guys on the track that arguably could keep pace with Johnson close enough so that he's pushing him, right? And that maybe pushes Johnson into a few more mistakes like that right there. That's going to be Lang to the lead with Johnson going to the outside of that rut and nowhere to bank off of out there. It's just flat ground and nothing to hit. So Tyler Lang takes over the race lead. Now, a reminder to viewers at home, Tyler Lang, oh, just as I start saying it, he's going to go down. Front end push out of the rut. And an immediate legs off crash hitting the ground too hard with that slide out. So Johnson going to go back through. Burns now moves into second place as well. I was just about to say, though, that Lang, your defending 450 national champion in this game, does not have a moto victory this year in his title defense, which, honestly, as odd as it sounds, is kind of a trend in MX Simulator. We went, I think, 4 straight years where the Moto Option Supercross champion in the 450 class could not win a race in his successive year. Jeremy Seabolt was the one that finally broke that spell. But Fresquez winning in 17, couldn't win a race in 18. I don't think he showed up in 18 for many. Leclerc won in 18, couldn't win a race in 19. Haley won in 19, couldn't win a race in 20. But then Seabolt, who won the 2020 championship, finally won a race in 2021 in his title defense year. But he didn't defend the title. Braden Carter won it. And then, of course, Carter went back-to-back in these last 2 years here for his 2 Moto Option Supercross crowns. But it's a weird trend that we see where these guys that are obviously the best riders in this game, they fluctuate almost year to year, except for the few rare ones that can get it done consistently. Fresquez was one of them that could win back-to-back titles. Of course, Carter added himself to that list. Alexis Leclerc, 4-time national champion, 3 in a row in 18, 19, and 20. Got Jesse Mullins, a 3-time national champion as well in this game. We don't see him around anymore, though, as he has since moved on from the game. Won those 3 titles in a row. That's about it. There's not many guys that can go back to back to back like that. As Burns goes off the track, and here comes Tyler Lang closing up from that 3rd position, trying to get back into 2nd place. Well, I said it's going to take a couple crashes for Leclerc to get back into the picture for a moto win in this scenario here, and already Lang has provided one of those. So if Johnson goes down and then goes down again, Leclerc is definitely going to be at least close enough to think about it. 4th place now, 19.8 seconds back is the 7, as the battle for 2nd continues to rage on right here. Yeah, it was more meaning back-to-back titles in the 450 class is rare. Rider down, that's a lapped rider. Oh, Burns down, swap sideways. Off the bike he goes. Is that going to be enough time for Leclerc to get to him? No. So Leclerc just coming into the picture now from 4th. Going to have Burns about 4 seconds up the road of him by the looks of it. So if Lang went down again, Leclerc would not get him, but it'd be close. And then, of course, Johnson out front. Well, we have crested past the halfway point of this moto and didn't get a chance to do this in the 250 class with the scenarios playing out as they were. But let's give you guys a quick run through the field, go through the top 20 and see where our point scorers are right now. As Johnson gets a little bit sideways right there. But your championship leader is in the lead of this race. Payson Johnson, the Fortnite passenger number 51 machine, out front here at Budds Creek in 450. Moto number 1, Tyler Lang, the Underground Phil Ski and Snowboard machine, running in 2nd place with the 28 Fortnite passenger ride of Trevor Burns in 3rd. Alexis Leclerc, crypto-backed Panini Motorsports number 7, running in 4th place with Adam Holm on the Aspect Visual Code number 17 in 5th. Chase Blakely followed Adam Holm down the hill and cartwheeled right behind him. Let's see if he picks it up in 6th, or will he lose a position? As a lapped rider, I believe. And the 81 is also a lapped rider. Chase Donovan, I believe. But Chase Blakely, BPC number 21, is in 6th place. 7th for Cooper Hunt, Fortnite passenger number 13 ride. 8th for the Yogi Designs 117 of Jeff Cooper. 9th for the 96 MX Locker I'm Claiming Payson's Bike machine. That is Chris Post. And rounding out the top 10, Nico Marcini on the Braxton Worldwide. I'm trying to remember what his actual number is. It's 134, but he's got the 14 rocking here out at Budds Creek. 11th for Devin Davis on the Yoga Designs number 31. 12th for Caleb Hall on the Underground RC Phil Ski and Snowboard number 33. 13th, Tyler Nichols on the Spink 161. 14th for Seth Garrett, Phil's Underground RC number 34. 15th for Luke Sullivan on the number 11 Yogi Designs ride. 16th is Reno Brennan, the 422 Wildside Designs machine. 17th for Aaron Rockefeller, Underground Phil Ski and Snowboard number 54. 18th for Austin Bear, the Yogi Designs number 70. Whoa, big crash here at the top of the hill. Going to allow a couple guys to go by. So 19th now, Daniel Mills on the Jack Daniels Racing number 15. And 20th is going to still be Brandon Larson on the Stance 531, our whole shot winner. Just holding on for that last... No, I'm sorry. Who did we miss here then? We missed somebody going by. Was it Seth Garrett, perhaps? Apologies. No, I got Seth Garrett. Who did I miss? Caleb Hall, Devin Davis, Marcini, Chris Post. I guess I undercounted. Oh, I missed Sean Hambrook. Sean Hambrook is up here on the Braxton Worldwide number 976 normally, but 58 for some reason right now. Always changing his setup, so I never have his skins. But Hambrook's up here. So apologies to him. He was in 6th place by the looks of it. Oof, lap traffic aplenty for Payson Johnson. Working around, I think that's Anthony Pachone on the 127. Trying to get a couple other numbers of where we're looking at on the racetrack. Certainly a lot of lappers, though, to deal with here. It's interesting to see how Johnson kind of navigates through them and where he follows, where he jumps out of line, trying something different. Wow, Jack Haley going a lap down on the 2. Haley just a few weeks back at Southwick was your winner in one of the motos there. Not feeling the Budds Creek vibe tonight, it appears, for the 2019 Moto Option Supercross champion. More riders down, so Johnson still bobbing and weaving his way through the field. Not a whole lot of battling going on right now. Everybody's pretty well spread out. Jeff Cooper pretty close here to Cooper Hunt. Battle of the Coopers. First name, last name here. By the way, I want to give a, speaking of Cooper, give a quick congratulations. Cooper Webb's child was just born. So Cooper and Mariah Webb, many congratulations to their new baby. Indy Webb is the name. Cool to see. Looks like things have stagnated with that Cooper battle a little bit. Oh, whoa, change for the lead and lap traffic galore. Holy smokes, there was a lot of lap riders right there. Tyler Lang has taken over the lead, though. Johnson must have gone down, and I would imagine with some lap traffic helping him, because look at the chaos he is in right there as he jumps over one of the riders going down. Another rider down. Look at Lang just trying to get away from this grouping. 26 of Braden Castellaneta. Look at that rider coming back onto the track. I don't think you really want to do that in front of a race official, but good on you. So there, look at this. Where do you go if you're Johnson? You're just surrounded, boxed in by lapped riders. Scrubbing over the big tabletop in the center of the racetrack right here is that lapped rider that Johnson is trying to get around. 2.3 second lead for Lang. This has the makings to get a little bit interesting, though, because now there's a bit of a gap even that Johnson has to make up to get to Lang, which once again means he'll have to push the pace, and Leclerc is not that far behind anymore. He is 9 seconds behind Johnson. It's okay, another Discord meme channel. I got water, bub. We're good. Stay hydrated, bubs. It's good water, too. Ice water, crisp. All right, well, we're on board with Johnson trying to close up. That's not going to work. That is a huge mishap right there. Gets kicked sideways. Gonna get going just before that lap traffic gets there. And that lap traffic now will have Alexis Leclerc behind them. Burns went down in the same spot. Johnson almost went down. And suddenly, there's not that much in it between Leclerc and Johnson. 7.4 seconds. And Johnson making a handful of mistakes. Lang is in a position now to win his first moto of 2022. Oh, Johnson front end tuck out of the rut again. 51 machine having some problems here. And nobody said winning these titles would be easy. Oh, Johnson! How is he going to save that one? Landed right on top of a braking bump and teeter-tottered into the corner. What even is that, dude? Now he's trying to lap Austin Bear. Austin Bear gets out of the way. Leclerc now into the picture, though. The closest he's been to Johnson all moto. Oh, man. Johnson off the track again at the bottom of the hill. The mistakes are plenty right now for the 51, and the 7 is now just about in frame. So there is Johnson. There is Leclerc just poking over at the back of the shot right there. Not quite close enough, but Austin Bear going to have to move out of the way again as Johnson scrubs over Henry Hill. Well, so far so good in a response mode now, but Leclerc go on board the 7 machine, and you can see that gap coming down. So it's a 3-second deficit to Payson Johnson as Tyler Lang continues to lead this race, and he is still buried in lap traffic right now. So the real fight is between these two to watch. Right now, Johnson would extend his championship lead out to 45 points on Leclerc. That was our leader. Oh, and Leclerc just landed on a lapped rider. I think that was Pachone. Johnson, no, I'm sorry, it was not our leader. But it was one of the Underground RC Filski and Snowboard rides that was down. I thought I saw the one. Wow, Leclerc with a huge off-though landing on Pachone, and then resets himself in the midst of another chaotic crash right there. So what was a pretty close little battle there between him and Johnson is now anything but. He is 8 seconds behind Trevor Burns, who's 8 seconds behind Payson Johnson. So Leclerc went from right on Johnson to 16 seconds behind him in one little foul swoop of a big downhill crash, and another having to come to near a complete stop to not get into riders going down in front of him. And that has certainly shifted the tides back to Johnson's favor as we creep down later into the moto. But they're all still chasing this man, Tyler Lang, trying to win his first moto of 2022. I don't think he would have really liked to wait until the 10th round of the year to make it happen, but better late than never, as they say. So Lang just working through methodically in the lap traffic here. Ooh, outside. Actually kind of worked out because there's a rider down in the rut that he would have went to. And Jack Haley now getting out of the way, the number 1 and the number 2 in your program book. Unfortunately, though, Haley a lap down. It's going to be pretty close, just like it was for the 250 class, with time coming to expire. But I think this time Lang will get there before time expires. He's still got over a minute before it happens, and probably about a half a lap to go from here. So it'll be close, but not nearly as close as it was in the 250 class. Uh-oh, Lang down! He's off the bike! But Johnson was down too simultaneously. Wow. And wow, Burns did not get by. Adam Holm has gotten around Leclerc for 4th. That was a weird sequence right there. Now, kind of in jeopardy if they're going to get back to the flag or not. I think it's still going to be okay. Going to be a little bit closer than it was. Got 20 seconds on the clock now. I know that the timer on your screen is a little bit behind for you guys, but 20 seconds left. Coming down to right now is 10 seconds to go, so it will be 3 laps to go as Tyler Lang crosses the line out front in this one. Hello. You want to come talk into the microphone again? Say hello. As my daughter joins the studio once again, she's hanging out, watching a little bit of racing with us here tonight as 450 Moto number 1 comes to a close. And a weird sequence there allows Tyler Lang to keep the race lead. Payson Johnson is still in second, though, as Trevor Burns was not able to get around him. Oh, Burns a little kick coming down the hill right there. Yep, there's the Momos. What else do you got to say, Holly? Well, that's what the dirt bikes sound like, ladies and gentlemen, right from the mouth of a 2-year-old. Just hanging out, having a good time watching the races. Oh, back to the battle for 4th. That is Leclerc versus Holm coming down the hill, and Leclerc looks like he just got around Adam Holm for the position. So Holm to the outside here at the bottom, going up to the big gulp. Whoa. Everything's pretty well separated at this point as Lang is going to come down and take the 2 lap board. So 2 to go here. 450 Moto number 1 at Budds Creek. Payson Johnson trying to close that gap down to Tyler Lang. It is coming down quite a bit, actually. 4.4 seconds is the deficit. Lap traffic being a little bit of a factor here. Aaron Rockefeller getting out of the way. Looks like Lang has finally cleared some of this lap traffic, though. Whoa! Johnson having to jump out of the rut to avoid hitting them. .3 still, though. He hasn't really clawed into it too much, but he's trying to get around some more of this lap traffic. Oh, Daniel Mills almost getting hit as he crossed over in front of Johnson, who is on that quick line around the outside. Going for the quad on the big gulp. A little short there at the top. 3.7 now. This is going to get a little bit tight. Coming down to the end of it. White flag coming out this next time by, and Johnson is slowly inching up as Tyler Lang tries to hold on for his first moto win of 2022. Can he make it happen, or will Johnson steal this one at the flag? He's got 3 seconds to make up as we come to the final turn with the white flag ready to wave. Lap riders down. As we go over the finish line jump, 2.9 seconds, 47.7 last time by for Johnson, a 50.4 for Lang. That is pretty much exactly what the gap sits at with a lap to go, is what Johnson's able to eat into Lang each lap that's passing by. Oh, that's going to be it though. Lands sideways and down off the motorcycle he goes. I think he's going to get up just before Trevor Burns gets over this rise from third. And he will remain in that position. Leclerc is pretty well locked into fourth place as well, unless he crashes and Adam Holm would get by. So really it just boils down to Johnson not having another mistake and losing the second position to his teammate Trevor Burns. As Lang, with a half a lap to go, finally is going to get his first moto win of the year. Like I said, did not want to wait till the 10th round of the season to get it done, but he is finally there. And going to take his name off the list of defending champions who could not win a moto in their title defense season. Will Tyler Lang right here, right now, as he comes over Henry Hill on the last lap of the race. Got a few corners left to go. Ollie, what do you have to say about Tyler Lang winning this moto? Well, that is fantastic news for Tyler Lang. I'm sure he'll be stoked about that. He's definitely going to be stoked on this one. Here it is, folks. First time in 2022, the number one is number one as he takes the win here at Budds Creek in the first moto. Payson Johnson comes down to take second as he'll cross the line 10 seconds down at the flag. Trevor Burns picks up a solid third place finish in this one. And Alexis Leclerc had to come from a little ways back, but he'll kick himself that he had the opportunity to make something happen to get inside of a position for the podiums. Ended up in fourth in this one. Adam Holm, the 17 aspect visual co-ride, going to round out the top five. And credit where credit due, Holm, in what is a return season to the AMA Esport Motocross Championship for him this year, is quietly in a very solid fourth place in the standings, and pretty unwaveringly so has just been putting in solid results week after week. It's not the same Adam Holm that we saw contend for the title in 2018, but it's still a very, very good version of him, and a great ride here for a top five as Sean Hambrook ends up in sixth. Jeff Cooper just gets over the line in seventh ahead of Cooper Hunt. Luke Sullivan looks like he'll come to the line in ninth place. Whew, and there's some chaos going on back here. What in the heck just happened coming down the hill? But Post was going to maybe get a top 10. Nico Marchini trying to steal it from him at the line. Post jumps down the inside, goes for the block. Marchini cuts back across. Oh, it's going to be a drag race to the line. Look at Post going deep over the line. Wow, and he gets it by a 10th. Chris Post. Whoo! Absolutely sending it. What a last lap pass right there for him. Marchini 11th, Blakely 12th, Hall 13th, Devin Davis 14th, Reno Brennan 15th, Jack Haley was 16th, Rockefeller 17th, Garrett 18th, Mills 19th, and Pachone rounds out the top 20. Here come the cuts. Let's see what was changed or affected. Looks like Blakely got around Marchini on cut, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Posty would have got it, but he gets the top 10. Nicely done for him. And the rest of the top 10 stays the exact same. T-Lang getting it done here in 450, moto number one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the 450 moto number one has just wrapped up. 250 moto number two is coming up next. And we're going to see newly crowned champion Logan Leitzel coming to the line 5 motos early. This title has been done and dusted. And now Leitzel gets to reap the rewards of having an early championship claim. So we'll see if he can double down after his first moto victory, really put the stamp of authority on this one tonight, or will we see a different winner? We almost saw Jed Holyhead get into the picture for a potential moto victory there earlier on. Of course, it seemed like Cade Matherly had the speed, at least, to run with him. But did not have the start, of course. All right. For 250 moto number 2 coming up next. How's the chat doing tonight? Good to see you guys hanging out, having a good time. Seems like been a little bit mellow in the chat tonight, but I'm sure you guys are just watching, enjoying, maybe kicking back a beverage. Saru's enjoying the show. Tony Garcia trash cans it. I don't know if he's saying I'm a trash can, the stream's a trash can, or he is hanging out in a trash can, but I enjoy the emoji nonetheless. Appreciate the support. And we're finally loaded into the server. All righty. Oh, the weight is trash. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do need to update my computer. I'm probably going to do a full PC rebuild this off season. But even so, I don't have a bad computer by any stretch. Like, I can run this game full bore, 4K, yada, 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 no problem. It's just when you load 40 of those skins in at the same time, it just takes forever to load all that stuff. I mean, this is probably 50, 60 gigabytes of stuff that it's trying to load into the game. I wish JLV had come up with a better method to make that work, but here we still are. Alrighty, here we go. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 250 moto number 2, ready and set to go here at Budds Creek. 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Indeed, Brandon, we aren't. It was too wet in the morning because it rained the night before. Deep thoughts. Okie dokie, here we go. Let's take a look at, how about Jeremy Siebold? See if the 18 machine can get a good start. 250 Moto 2, let's drop the gate. Awful start for Siebold. The outside came in pretty hot. Logan Leitzel's got a good start up the inside on the 16. Can't see any of them because they're still watching. Brandon Tharp, who absolutely got tossed off the track. Frank Jackson picks up the Studio 8 whole shot. Logan Leitzel goes to the race lead, though, before the end of the first lap, and the 16 leads him through with Frank Jackson right there in second. Got the 72 of Andonias Cura right there in third. Woof. Jackson fighting back on Leitzel, going to repass to take the race lead. Ryder going down the background, pushing out of the rut. That was one of the Phil's KTMs. I don't know. It might have been Seth Carr. See if we can pick up who it was. Oh, Leitzel hooked that inside rut super clean. Let's see if he can pull it together and make the pass. Not quite just yet. Frank Jackson holding on for the time being. This time Leitzel's got a better run up the inside, though, up the hill. Jackson to the outside. Leitzel controls the inside and makes a pass for the lead. So in the first moto, as we discussed with him after that moto ended and he clinched the title, he was wearing tinted goggles the whole time and even stood up on the last lap of the race, I assume in excitement. But the goggles are off for this moto. He's taking it a little bit more, I guess, seriously, which is interesting because he waited till after he won a title to take it seriously. But I think it's just that the goggles were hurting too much is what he said. So maybe he went in and put on like a full helmet or something. I don't know. Oh, but he's off the track. Jackson back into the race lead momentarily, at least. Leitzel trying to come back to the inside to repass for the lead. Oh, it got tight coming off the top of the hill right there. Outside line through the mechanics area. They're still side by side up through the first jump. Leitzel to the inside, Jackson to the outside. That double line, if you can get it on the 250, works really well. Andonias Cura making the pass on Frank Jackson to get into second place. Nice move for the 72 ride right there. Frank Jackson now getting shuffled back even more. Jet Holyhead trying to make the pass, but Jackson responds and keeps the Australian behind him. Holyhead in a great position, though, to this time be a little bit closer to Leitzel, perhaps go after him. Look at this, inside line, not quite close enough. Oh, is that Leitzel down? That is Logan Leitzel down at the top of the hill. Jack Gatlin and Bodie Parker getting collected side by side. So, wow, new leader, Andonias Cura. District Designs rider out of France on the number 72, leading the way here at Budds Creek. Frank Jackson has an earful of Jet Holyhead. These two working up to the top of the hill together. Holyhead maybe just trying to size up Jackson, figure out a spot that's the best to try to make a pass attempt on him. Look at this inside line right here, might be it. Scrubs the step up to the top. Jackson's going to double this inside line, try to hold him off, but Holyhead makes the pass to go into second place. So the Frenchman of Escura leading this thing away from the Australian of Jet Holyhead. This is going to be interesting. Will Logan Leitzel be able to respond and close back up to these guys? Right now, he's got a long ways to go to get there. I don't actually see him in the background anymore, so I wonder if he went down again or maybe just had another mistake and lost even more time. But Holyhead going to put his sights forward, try to close the gap up to Andonia Ezcurra. I'd just like to reiterate, somebody in chat earlier said if Jet wins this that they'll donate $500. Just throwing that out there. I don't remember, I think it was Unlimited MX or something like that. But I see you. I can go review the chat history. Jet Holyhead, right now, I believe, in position to win the overall at least with a 2-2. And trying to go after Andonia Ezcurra for the race lead. Two seconds down. Shout out Ezcurra though, man. He is riding very well. Seems like a battle royale is happening back here with Gatlin, Leitzel, Bodie Parker. Three riders on Henry Hill together. Leitzel's trying to get the pass down on Gatlin to the inside. Pushes out to the outside. Bodie Parker to the inside. Tries to make the pass on the 16. Let's see if he gets it. No, Leitzel fought back beautifully down the hill to get the inside line taken away and get back around Bodie Parker. Oh, Gatlin got a little tight right there with Leitzel sneaking up the inside. That's the problem with that double line to the inside is the outside line causes you to cross back over. And you get it a little bit wrong. You're just T-boning somebody, basically. Leitzel just trying to work around. Jack Gatlin gets a nose right there. How they stayed in the same run together and made it happen, I have no idea. But a beautiful pass by Logan Leitzel gets him back into 4th place. Frank Jackson, 6 seconds up the road for Leitzel to try to catch now as he works on getting away from Gatlin. And now Bodie Parker's gone down. I think he's going to get up just before Adams gets there. It's going to be tight, actually. Oh, they're almost going to be bar to bar, really. But Adams will officially take the position away. Parker trying to fight right back up to the 43, though, as they go up to the top of the hill. And that is one of those tough things to do as well. You pick yourself up from a crash. The adrenaline is maybe a little bit more hiked up. And your focus level has gone down because you're not in that tunnel vision mode anymore where you're just hitting your marks and focusing ahead. You have to mentally regroup from crashing. Not easy to do, but Parker looks like he is not missed a beat right now, jumping right back into this battle. And Leitzel's now right ahead of these guys, so I think he went down again. Yeah, Jack Gatlin's got quite a bit of time on him. And Frank Jackson, Jet Holyhead, and Andonia Ezcurra is still leading here. On to the 6th lap of the race. Look at him go. I mean, Ezcurra is a very talented rider, but this is almost uncharted territory for him. But this is awesome to see for Andonia Ezcurra. Able to get out front and kind of feel what it's like to lead these things a little bit. I know he's probably led some stuff with the EMX series or the EMF series, I'm sure. He's done some of those races, done some of the GPs, the EU stuff, and done well with those because as a French rider, usually any of the French riders that come over here and compete in the NA series are plenty well talented enough to do well in the EU series as well. So I'm pretty positive Ezcurra's had a taste of the lead before. This isn't his first time leading a pro race in this game, but still doesn't look like he's uncomfortable at all being in this position. He's just hitting his marks, popping little wheelies from bump to bump, not rushing anything. Strong performance right now. Jet Holyhead in second really hasn't been able to catch him. 48.8 versus a 49.1. Gained, what, 0.3 last lap, but it stayed right at a 2.8 deficit. Want to get a lap time check this time by... Oh, Ezcurra off the track. Ezcurra went off the inside of the track coming down the hill, and that gap is going to go down to a 1.1 gap, 48.2 versus a 50.3. I know his car went off the track, so it kind of fluctuated what we would have seen in terms of pace. But we got a race here, folks. Jed Holyhead can see the 72 of Andoni Ezcurra just ahead of him. It's like dangling a little carrot right in front of him. Little mistake there for Ezcurra as well, so Holyhead closes it down to half the gap it was. It was about a second. It's now just a half second. And Holyhead just trying to put the power down on the rear of the motorcycle. Honestly, just mesmerized watching this battle. What is going to break? Something's got to happen here. Whether it's Holyhead forcing a pass, Ezcurra is starting to slip back away. Maybe they get together. Something's going to kick off here. These two are too close together for it to remain this stagnant. Oh, Ezcurra really flirting with the edge of traction right there, landing that outside rut. And Holyhead looks like he did make a little bobble in the background. Not a lot of time lost, but enough to not be right on his tailpipe anymore. Still Frank Jackson in third place. And Leitzel just went down out of sixth. There goes Cade Matherly through actually into sixth place. Wow. So Logan Leitzel, winner of the first moto, not in position to win the overall right now. That would go to Jed Holyhead's 2-2 performance, at least as it stands. Andoni Ezcurra was 10th in the first moto, so he's probably going to need a little help to even end up on the box today. But helping himself with a win would be huge. He just got kicked off the track, though, a little bit there. Hit the lapped rider going down, and that is Jed Holyhead going to the race lead. I was confused for a second what happened, because I didn't even see Holyhead. He was already out of the picture. Ezcurra was off the track for a good little while right there. That was kind of interesting to see how that shook down. But Jed Holyhead takes over the race lead. So Holyhead now takes over the point, and he's going to work on trying to pull away as Frank Jackson has now moved into second place. Ezcurra was down after the finish line jump. That is going to be a lot of time lost for Ezcurra. He was right there, and he is not anymore. So here's Cade Matherly now up into fifth place. Matherly was 7th in the first moto, so again, similar to Ezcurra, as Gatlin goes down, Matherly's going to move to 4th. Really, Matherly doesn't much factor to be in the fight for the overall win, even if he were to go up and win this thing. So right now, it's just trying to get as many points as he possibly can. He's got second place in the championship pretty much under lock, even though the potential for coming up and claiming the title is now out of reach. Logan Leitzel's already clinched it for 2022. But Matherly still has bragging rights to fight for and race victories to go for. Just want to sit on board with him here for a minute and see kind of what he's doing around the track, what he's finding. Looks like flowing together pretty well here for Matherly. Not any obvious mistakes. Lap time check for him. Another 49. This time a 49.3. And everybody in front of him is going slower than that. Anybody behind him going faster? Well, 48 flat for Leitzel. Top 10, the only two guys sub 50 as Leitzel goes down again. So clearly maybe the championship pressure off. The focus is off as well. And Leitzel's just maybe struggling to get back into a comfortable groove at a pace he's comfortable with. Back to our leader, though, Jet Holyhead. Second in the first moto, leading Moto 2 right now. Perhaps on the precipice of becoming the third different overall winner for 2022 in this 250 class. And I could be wrong, but I believe this would be Jet's first moto victory as well. So first overall win of his career, first moto win of his career. Coming out of nowhere a little bit this week and really contending here at Budds Creek. Looking strong out front. Let's give you guys a run through the field here. Go through our points paying positions here just past the halfway point of 250 Moto 2. It's Covenant's Jet Holyhead 142 machine out front with Frank Jackson on the Phil Ski and Snowboard Underground RC number 32 in second. And Donias Cura, the rider out of France on the District Designs number 72, sits in third with Cade Matherly on the number 38 stance ride in fourth. Trent Adams on the Yogi Designs number 43 rounds out the top five with Connect Visuals Jack Gatlin on his number 50 machine in sixth. Bodie Parker, the Wonderbread Boys 115 runs in seventh with eighth place now. Your newly crowned champion Logan Leitzel on the Yogi Designs number 16 machine. Ninth for Seth Shirley on the 23 Underground RC Phil Ski and Snowboard machine. And the 35, his teammate, Underground RC Phil Ski and Snowboard machine. That is Seth Carr in 10th. 11th place, Brandon Nygren, Boots House, number 47. 12th for Johnny Padani, the Yogi 180. 13th for Seth Crotty, another Boots House rider. This one is the 71 for Crotty. 14th for JR Reyes, the Finca Swap, number 73. 15th, I should say, for Jeremy Estrella, the 593 Finca Swap program as well. 16th for Hayden Stevenson, Proline Designs number 312, slides out in the mechanics area, trying to get it righted, and will continue on still in 16th place. Sonny Spicer in 17th on the Finca Swap number 205. Nathan McLaughlin just went down, so moving into his 18th position is Tyler Blowers on the Verb Moto 746. 19th for Dash McMillan, the Billabong 341, and 20th is Braden Tharp on the Connect Visual number 53. That is a run through our points paying positions. Just past the halfway point here in 250 Moto number 2. So Holyhead checks in again out front onto the 12th lap of the race, still managing now a 16-second lead. This is turning into the dream ride for Jet Holyhead. But the chaos could still be ensuing in front of him. Lapped riders aplenty, and some of them even down right now as he has to get around a downed rider in the off-camber right there. It's like the 124 there of Noah McLaughlin not really moving aside too well for the blue flag. Blue flag rules in Sim are, I think, a little bit stricter than what you would expect to see for blue flag rules in real life. There is an expectation to not necessarily move out of the way, but allow them to go by. You can hold your line, but you can't really just sit in their way, more or less, or else you will incur a penalty for not adhering to the blue flag. So you got to be careful in that situation, even though if you're McLaughlin in that scenario and you're trying to catch up and make a pass there on, I think that's the 174 of Dylan Love. Yeah, they're battling for 23rd right now. Even in that scenario, you just cannot block the leader, more or less, which is what he was kind of doing right there. So don't think he'll get penalized for it, but food for thought for any of you players out there trying to get your feet wet here in Race Directed Gaming and any esports competition. If you race the amateur scene, do not impede those leaders, because you can be subject to a penalty if you do it for a long enough period of time. So 14-second lead with less than 10 minutes and 2 laps to go. Jet Holyhead on the verge of his first career overall win here in the AMA Esport Motocross Championship. As Kura back into second ahead of Frank Jackson. Adley still in fourth place. Trent Adams fifth, and Leitzel now finds his way into sixth position. So for Leitzel, it's more about just trying to finish off the season strong at this point. You got the title in hand. You don't need to do much more, but I think it would look a little bit, not, bad, but more just like sad to go from winning motos to trying to hang on to a top 5 position if the urge to go out and win motos is kind of gone now that you have the championship in hand. But he can do what he wants. He's the champion. Well, as we watch Leitzel circulate around the track, go up through, I should say, the field, and see if we see anything else unfolding right now. Not much going on with Jet Holyhead out in front and kind of in cruise control of this race already. But kudos to Azkura for staying as close as he has to this point. Here we go. We got a battle a little further back. Trent Adams and Seth Shirley going at it. Looks like Leitzel got around Adams, who just went down moments ago. Adams to the outside, Shirley to the inside, and that inside line works. One of the first times I've really seen that kind of middle rut be the benefactor in the corner after Henry Hill all day long. It seems like either far inside or outside works, but then Shirley goes down hard, coming down to the mechanics area. These ruts can be tricky as well. You can see top right-hand corner of the screen right there, those braking bumps that were coming down the hill. They're sloped. They're kind of fading away a little off camber on the corner entry, so you don't hit them straight up and down. You're going to get kicked sideways 9 times out of 10 because you're basically going through a whoop section on a hill. Pretty hard to stay straight and lined up for a rut if you're not well and truly going straight down the hill as well. So you get kicked a little sideways and it could go pretty bad pretty quickly. Back to Bodie Parker, Wonder Bread Boys 115. Dude said he's sweating. Dude who said he's donating $500 sweating right now. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't expect them to do it. It would be really cool, but it's just cool to see Jet Holyhead out here and putting his name in the hat, really, as another guy that could come out here and win the moto. We've seen a bit of a dominance streak this year out of course, Leitzel, and to a degree, Cade Matherly the last few weeks has been extremely solid. So to see another fresh face click off a moto win, and potentially in Holyhead's case here, an overall win would be really awesome as we get into the closing stages of this championship. For the 250 guys, this is 5 motos from the end. We're starting to wind down a little bit. Parker making a couple mistakes in there. He didn't say 100 star. I can see it on my screen right here. It's under MX. If Jet wins, I'll donate $500. I see it. Leitzel has started to make a little bit more progress. He's closed up onto the 50 of Jack Gatland. Not sure if Gatland made a couple mistakes or if Leitzel just started figuring out some lines or something, but they're both pretty far back of our race leaders. My goodness, Jack Gatland just got turned on that table right there. Leitzel trying to go to the outside. That line is not going to quite work. The inside, Leitzel goes. Not quite, but closer and closer and closer to making that pass happen. See if he can get to the outside, the bottom of the hill. That's the kind of outside line we've been seeing working all day as Gatland goes that middle rut, and it just doesn't work. Leitzel's going faster. He carries more speed and makes that pass stick. So Leitzel now moves up into the top 5 again, but still not in position to contend for the overall win with Holyhead out front. It is all Jet Holyhead as we currently run. I see you guys in chat saying, have I ever thought about doing a podcast with Gypsy Tales? Feel like that'd be legit if y'all got to talking. I don't know if you mean like me start a podcast and get Gypsy on it, or Gypsy to get me on his podcast. I don't know. I've thought many years about starting a podcast centered around like gaming and like motocross gaming to a degree, and get some of the people that I know in the industry that are into motocross gaming to do, some banter back and forth about what they like and some games they're into and stuff like that. And then maybe just do some fun, race review stuff and whatever. But to be honest with you, I don't really have that much time to do it, so I'm gonna need to kind of figure out next year if I'll have some free time in the schedule to really think about doing that and really launching something different. But I mean, if you want me to go on Gypsy's podcast, like, sure, tell Jace to hit me up, but like I'm not gonna go say, hey Jace, I want to be on your podcast. Like if he wants to invite me, that's great, but I'm not gonna be assertive about it. Oh, Leitzel, big off. That's only going to be 1 position loss? No, he didn't even lose a position. Ben Adams, Seth Shirley. Gatland went down a couple more times. I thought he'd be right there, but nope. Closest battle seems to be Seth Shirley versus Trent Adams at the moment, as Jet Holyhead continues to lead here in 250 Moto 2 at Budds Creek. So Shirley, after being a little bit further up, crashing back here, now finds himself in a battle with Trent Adams on the 43 yet again. Adams makes a mistake. Shirley's going to sense that opportunity and close up. Not quite close enough just yet, and the battle still continues on. We're down to the final 30 seconds of this one, though. Adams versus Shirley, a good little battle here, but of course the story is this man right here, the Australian Jet Holyhead, and he is actually on a faster pace right now than what we had in the first moto when Leitzel was able to clinch the title. He is going to check in and get 3 laps to go before time expires just before. Remember, Leitzel crossed with about 5 seconds after timing and scoring crossed over. So 30 minutes have crested right now. We just hit the 30-minute mark. I know it still says 5 seconds on the screen clock for you guys. That's a little bit delayed. But Holyhead has 3 laps still to work on this track. That's not going to be a good way through as he goes off the inside of the track right there. And Doni Ezcurra is still in second, but the gap has now opened up to 38 seconds. Jed Holyhead, a force to be reckoned with out front right now. Cade Matherly sneaking up from 3rd place. That's not going to go the way he was hoping, though, as he jumps off the track. So Matherly with an outside shot at getting into P2 here. And really giving himself kind of an outside shot at the box. It's going to be a little bit up in the air with how the results play out. Frank Jackson's up here, but Tharp is not. Gatlin's crashed his way back. Seabolt isn't. So Matherly would be ahead of definitely Seabolt and Gatland for the overall. So he'd be at least 5th and probably ahead of Tharp. So at least be 4th. Jackson and Ezcurra would be the only ones to maybe get in there, but if he gets a 2nd, Ezcurra is out of the discussion for that. So Matherly trying to inch closer and closer to Andoni Ezcurra. Meanwhile, Jed Holyhead way out front of this one is going to take the 2-lap board. 2 laps to go right now here in 250 Moto 2 at Budds Creek. We'll go back to this battle. Let's jump on board with Cade Matherly and just kind of watch and see what he does differently here on this track. Well, what he definitely did differently there than Ezcurra ahead of him is crash heavily. So Matherly going to go from right behind Ezcurra to being passed by Frank Jackson. And that will put Frank Jackson on 4-3, which should be plenty for the podium, I believe. But Matherly's not done yet as he almost goes through the front door. Matherly seems to have a little bit more pace in hand than Jackson as well, so that could come into play a little bit here as he inches a little bit closer and closer to the 32. Made a little bobble in the off camber though, so Jackson starts to pull it back out. It's kind of yo-yoing right now, but Matherly then turns the afterburners back up a little bit more, closes back down. Oh, they get together. Oh, Matherly clips the rear tire of Frank Jackson and instantly falls off the motorcycle. So as he regroups now, he'll be going just ahead of Seth Shirley, who's closing in now from the 5th position. And then Trent Adams in 6th. Leitzel is 7th. I believe that's how it's shaking out right now. Yep. White flag is out, though, for our race leader, Jet Holyhead. What a time, though, to get your first career win, first career overall win. Big night for Jet Holyhead and Australia. Of course, even bigger night, though, for Logan Leitzel, as he's already clinched his 2022 title. Well, Holyhead still has about a half a lap to go, but we'll give him the credit where credit is due. He had a tremendous moto here. Clearly the best rider on the track here in Moto 2. And gave it a shot in Moto 1. Was an outside shot at winning that first moto at a certain point in time. Only about 9 seconds behind Leitzel and closing. But just a few too many mistakes. And before you know it, Leitzel had pulled out a sizable gap, managed it to the end, ended up with a 10-second win for Leitzel, which was enough for him to clinch the title as well. And maybe Leitzel relaxing a little bit now that he has the title in hand. Not a very strong second moto, even though he started up front. And Jed Holyhead was able to get to the front rather early, and he absolutely took off. And is going to have a better TRT in this one just because he did more laps and got more time done on the clock. But this is awesome. First career moto win, first career overall win. Big day, big win as he slides out coming to the line. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome home Australia's Jed Holyhead as Holyhead gets it done here tonight at Budds Creek. Andoni Ezcurra looks like he is going to go 10-2 on the day, which I still don't think is going to be enough to get on the podium. But a solid second moto, the best run of his career in AMA Esport Motocross Championship competition. Ezcurra will bring it down to the line, and the fast Frenchman will indeed pick up a second place result in this one. Oh, Seth Shirley, Cade Matherly. Oh, they hit, and then they both went down. They almost rode out of that. But it's going to be Frank Jackson who will go 4-3, which I think will be good enough for third overall. Trent Adams going to get fourth in this one. Shirley versus Matherly to the line. And it's just going to go the way of Shirley, with Matherly getting sixth. Jack Gatlin, seventh. Getting into territory here with Leitzel where... But he's going to get eighth this moto. Well, he's pulling into the mechanics area. Logan Leitzel allowing some people to go by the looks of it. I wonder if that is to give Frank Jackson second overall. I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. Trent Adams 9-4. No, that won't be enough to beat Leitzel's 110 because he's guaranteed 10th. 11th already finished a lap down. So Leitzel just hanging out in the mechanics area here. Letting Bodie Parker, Seth Carr go by. Jack Gatlin also went through. Then you got Brandon Nygren was 11th, Estrella 12th, Reyes 13th, Blowers 14th, Crotty 15th, Spicer 16th, Fowler 17th, Stevenson 18th, Tharp 19th, and McLaughlin 20th. As Leitzel going to bring us down to the line. Your 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Champion, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the 16 machine of Logan Leitzel. That bike gonna burn down tonight. The champagne will be consumed, and the boys will have fun. But they'll also have fun at the Covenant camp tonight because Jed Holyhead, for the first time in his career, is an overall winner and a moto winner on the AMA Esport Motocross circuit. Awesome to see. Congratulations to Holyhead, and many, many congratulations, of course, to your 2022 champion, Logan Leitzel. Well, we are not done just yet, ladies and gentlemen. We still have one more moto to get done. 450 moto number 2 coming to the gate next. Tyler Lang winning his first moto of 2022 in Moto 1 ahead of Payson Johnson, who was in second, Trevor Burns third, Alexis Leclerc fourth, and Adam Holm in fifth. Provisionally speaking, the championship lead for Johnson is now out to 47 points. As a reminder, he cannot clinch the championship here tonight, but he's putting himself closer and closer to a position where he could clinch next week at Ironman. He would need to leave Ironman with a 50-point advantage. So this is about to be kind of crucial in this second moto. If he gains more points on Leclerc, that really puts Leclerc in a position that he has to respond at Ironman, which is a track that Leclerc knows very well and has won at before. But we'll see how the fast Frenchman is able to do once he has pressure in hand next week, if Johnson puts that pressure on him right now. So 450 moto number 2 coming up next. Last race of the evening here for round 10 of the 2022 AMA Esport Motocross Championship in MX Simulator at Budds Creek. That is correct. Payson Johnson lapped the entire 250 class field here at Budds Creek last year. Not so sure that the 450 class will be as easy to do that too, but maybe, just maybe, Johnson comes out firing in this second 450 moto and does something similar to what he was able to do last year. Ayo, Jet Holyhead says, thanks for the stream and donates $5. But it wasn't him that put up the bounty anyway, so we're holding you accountable, Mr. I'll go find his name again. I'm really just joking, but it's fun to see that it put up the words, Thunder MX says, if Jet wins, I'll donate $500. And it's screenshotted now. No takesy backsies. But I appreciate it, Jet, and congratulations, of course, to you for the big win. All right, finally getting loaded into the final moto of the night, 450 moto number 2. We've been over it. You guys know it. Yes, sirree, Jet. First moto win, first overall win. I always take personally, I always take a little bit of a gamble because I'm not 100% sure every time, but I was 90% sure I'd never seen Jet win a moto or overall in this game. I've been streaming this series obviously since 2015 straight through, so I've seen every moto, but sometimes you just maybe forget, oh, you know, he did actually win that one moto or whatever. But I called it correctly. I got it. All right, final 450 moto of the day. Keeping an eye out for Tyler Lang, trying to go 1-1 today. Of course, Payson Johnson trying to extend his championship lead out over 50 points. Transcend, I'm not too sure. I have the files from Feld back finally. They took about a week to get them back to me for stage 2, so I'm going to commentate over everything for stage 2 and give it back to them. It's been a really hectic week, as I'm sure you guys have seen in the week of Moto Media. There's been a world champion crowned in MXGP. That's the closest title race in a long time into the 450 Motocross Championship. Oh, and there's this thing that happened at Loretta's that everybody's still talking about. So I have had no time, quite literally, to sit down and actually voice over what happened in stage 2. But I will. And we'll have stage 2 out shortly. And my plan is I'll definitely be at whatever round the finale is for ESX. I hope they allow me to commentate. I'm not 100% sure that I'm locked in for that, so I'm not going to confirm anything. But I believe maybe. All right, here we go. We're loaded up on the gate. We are set and ready to go here for the final moto of the night. I want to go find Leclerc if I can this time. On the inside of the gate. I don't think I'm going to find him. Tyler Lang's up the inside, though. Here we go from Budds Creek. Whoa, Burns with a terrible jump and gets into a couple people. Johnson versus Leclerc into the first corner. Who's going to get it? We can't see anything because his first turn camera just will not go forward and actually get the leader. But it's Blake O'Brien who rips the whole shot. Studio 8 whole shot award to Blake O'Brien. Johnson moving into second place right away with Lang in the mix. Johnson down. Johnson goes down and a lot of riders go down with him. Huge pile up out of the second turn. Unbelievable, the chaos. Johnson trying to get going. Leclerc just went by. And that is what happened when you crash on a pretty tough spot to go down. There's going to be a lot of people to pile into you on the first lap of the race. Look at how many more people are down on the backside of this jump. Johnson's trying to weave through. He cuts the track actually to go by. More riders getting into each other. Leclerc actually went to the outside to not go down. Johnson cut the track and gained 3 or 4 positions. So it'll be interesting to see. If you're Leclerc, that's actually illegal what Johnson just did right there. You cannot go off the track and gain positions. Johnson certainly did that. I know he's trying to avoid the downed riders, but Leclerc, one of the people that was losing positions to Johnson going off the track right there. So now Johnson a little bit further up the road there behind Jack Haley. And then just a plethora of riders still ahead of him with Tyler Lang out front. Well, didn't have a single moto win up until the first moto here tonight. And sometimes they say it's the first one getting it out of the way. That's always the hardest. But T Lang wins Moto 1 here tonight. His first win of 2022. Gets right out front here in Moto number 2 and has all of the heavy hitters that he would normally have close behind him buried down the field a little bit. So talk about the cards falling your way. It's finally going the right way for Lang here tonight. And it could result in him getting his first overall win of 2022 as well. What is up, Antonius Cura? Good to see you, and congratulations on your second place result. As we jump back into the action here, Alec Horn holding on to second place right now with Anthony Pachone in third. Outside line for Pachone up to the very tippy top of the hill. Oh, Pachone down. Double riders will go through there. There's the 9 of Carter going by, the 60 of McIntosh. And just gets going before Brandon Larson gets there. You also have the 28 of Trevor Burns. Alexis Leclerc now back ahead of Payson Johnson. I almost wonder if Johnson let him go. But now we have our 2 title combatants a little further down the field here battling each other. Johnson trying to get to the outside of Leclerc. Leclerc's going to certainly cross up in front of him there. You almost have to expect it. I mean, he's going to control the line that he wants to go to. He's ahead on the racetrack. And Leclerc trying to get to the inside of Larson. Larson goes defensive. Leclerc has to get pushed wide. Oh, and Johnson clips Leclerc's rear tire and goes down. You felt like something was bubbling right there with the way that those two were coming into the corner together. And finally, they do actually hit each other, and Johnson goes down. Leclerc, the benefactor there, keeps going unscathed as he tries to work on Brandon Larson. Oh, now Leclerc's down, and he's off the bike. Let's see where he picks it up, if he'll still be ahead of Johnson or not. It's going to be close. Well, it ended up not being close at all. Johnson, whoa, was he down again at the bottom of the hill? Wow. Things unraveling here a little bit for our championship leader now behind Brandon Castellaneta. Just got back into the points with P19 right here. Oh, but he's down again. Wow. Now this is a little bit something here for our championship leader. Oh, as he gets going and almost clips Nick Tomasunis' rear wheel as he comes by. This is going to be a pretty big uphill climb for him. I mean, he's done it before, but now you're talking about a lot deeper into the moto than just the first lap or two. We're on lap 4 already. And he certainly doesn't look completely comfortable and steady just yet. Maybe he just needed something to wake him up, though, a little bit with that crash. Pretty peculiar looking crash, too. It wasn't like anything really was wildly wrong. He just kind of hopped over that rut, and then the front dove out of it, and down he went. So continuing forward, now working on the 91 of Bob Joe for 23rd place right here. Well, he had a rough moto earlier this year at Millville, and you're kind of thinking, well, maybe that's the one. That's the one that he's going to get out of the way. But are we setting up for another moto here where Johnson's just going to struggle to find the pace as he gets kicked sideways off the top right there? Nice job to tap the rear brake and kind of reset the gyro a little bit so it didn't kick out further. Makes a nice couple passes right there, and I think he just snuck up into the points with that move. No, he's 21st, excuse me. Right behind Rakowski and the 57 of Trevor Spencer. Ooh, that's not going to work, though. Inside, pushed out. Tuck the front wheel going to the next corner. Bob Joe trying to fight back to the inside. Johnson holds it steady around the outside, though, to maintain the position. Bob Joe looking feisty, though, on the 91. So we know where Johnson's at. Leclerc, meanwhile, has just gotten around Braden Carter to move into 9th. 47.8 last time by for Leclerc, and he's not too far off of 3rd place right now. Maybe about a straightaways distance, as he works on closing up to Chase Blakely for 8th. And down at the bottom of the hill is Seth Garrett, the 34 machine off the outside. So he will pick it up, and several riders going by. Brandon Larson as well, one of the riders going through. Larson with a little kind of boner air there, straight up and down, still having a bit of fun. Whoa, Leclerc off the track here, coming down the hill behind Blakely, trying to set up a pass, and then really ends up off the track. So there goes Carter back through. Bike is Carter on the 98. Whose bike is that? What are you even talking about, Braden? If I could zoom in close enough to the number plate to see. It is Braden Tharp's number 98. What is it? EVP Yamaha? Wow. Interesting. No, Brandon, I'm not going to be at Bud's. Usually those East Coast rounds that are close to Racer X's office, which is in West Virginia, we have our workers that work in the office go to those East Coast rounds. So I'm not going to Bud's, but I will be at Ironman in a week's time, basically. I'm going to stream the Ironman National next Wednesday and then get on a plane Thursday morning and land in Indiana in the afternoon. So if anybody's going to the Ironman National, I'll catch y'all there. Leclerc going back after Carter. Oh, they get together and Leclerc's down. Brandon Larson has to skirt around him. So too does Seth Garrett, and it just causes a pileup on the outside. And Leclerc, through all that, actually gains a spot because he hit Carter from behind, causing Carter to go down. Larson and Garrett both went to the outside, landed on the downed Carter, and Leclerc picks up a position because of it. Funny how that all worked out. So Blakely continues on still up the road. Yep, Tucker, I'll be at the MXON as well. Just got all my travel and room and all that stuff booked today, actually. Need to get dialed in for my credentials still, but going regardless, whether as a fan or credentialed member of the media, I'll be there. Back to our race leader, though, as we creep up to the closing stages of the first third of this moto. Tyler Lang, the Underground RC Phil's ski and snowboard number 1 machine. Kind of putting it in cruise control a little bit. Hopping through the rollers. Up to the finish line jump he goes. And checks in into lap number 7 now with a 48.3 last time by. 48.2 his best. T-Lang out here crushing it. Yeah, Sorrow, I'm definitely going to be at the Combine. The reason I am going to the Ironman National in the first place is we need a filmer for the Combine, since our regular filmer is shooting for the TV show that's going to end up on, I think Mav TV for the combine, so I go as our secondary filmer, and I film the action for the combine and the race reaction from the riders at the combine, which is the same thing I did at Redbud. So I'll be there all day Friday, all day Saturday for sure, getting the scoops. Battle for second. Looks like Trevor Burns got around Pachon here lap or two ago and has started to pull away, but this is still a valiant effort for Anthony Pachon, who is 20th in the first moto. We are, creeping into the middle part of this race, and he has maintained a solid position right at the sharp end of the field throughout this entire situation. Oh, that's not going to help, though. Oh, no, and it's a fall-off crash, too. Front tire dug in and kind of pitched him back over. You hit the ground hard enough with your head, you fall off the motorcycle. So Pachon picks it back up. Back to Leclerc, who is up to 8th. And still in a pretty good spot to sneak maybe into the top 3 of this one before long, depending on how he's able to weave through the field. Just got around a downed rider, though, which was... Is it Blake O'Brien? I didn't think he was up there, but Leclerc continuing his march forward. Next up for him, it will be Anthony Pachon, who we were just talking about. .47.6 out of Leclerc. Shoo! Where is Johnson? All right, here he is 11th now. What is Johnson able to put down? He goes 46.7. So Johnson, fastest rider on the track right now, up into 11th, closing on your Moto Option Supercross champion, Braden Carter, who is just in front of him there on the 9. Little hookup in the corner. Johnson almost into the back tire. To the outside there, Brandon Larson missed the rut, so that's a position gain for Carter, but Johnson not quite able to make the pass just yet. Let's see if he gets it here. Pulls up alongside Larson and scrubs it in his face. To the inside, will close the line off and make the pass into the top 10. Dooley's right in front of Johnson. Oh, man, and then Carter shorts the triple. This is incredible onboard action, how close everything is with these guys. Gives you a real good idea of what these guys can see when they're playing the game. I think Johnson's a third-person player, but there are first-person players in the game for sure, and this is pretty much the exact view that they're going to be seeing right here when they're playing. Oh, got a little tight there with Carter, and that is Blake O'Brien on the 167, scrubbing off of Henry Hill right in front of these guys. Carter to the outside, going to make the pass up the inside in the next corner. Johnson trying to follow suit, but O'Brien powers out of the corner and stays ahead of him. And this is all while we're just on board with Johnson. We're seeing all of this action unfold, and then Johnson does the same thing he did on lap 4. Front end tuck coming into the mechanics area and goes down. So he will pick it up, only having lost the one position, I think, to Brandon Larson. As Larson now gets kicked sideways coming to the finish line jump. Loose with a capital L is how I describe Brandon Larson. But it sure is fun to watch. So Carter got around O'Brien. He's going to try to sprint away from him. With McIntosh down in the off-camber, he's way down here by the tree, so he got it really wrong. And I think all 3 of those guys are going to go by. Yeah, Brandon Larson, the tail end of that group, going by as well. Pachon going to go back around Leclerc, who just went off the track before this tabletop, heading up to the back section of the racetrack again. And that puts Pachon back into the top 5. So Leclerc really not taking advantage of a situation presented in front of him here with Johnson struggling. This was Leclerc's opportunity to get to the front. As Pachon goes down with, who is that? It's a lapped rider. Let's see if we can see the number when they pick it up. It is the 338 by the looks of it, I believe that was. I'll check the the number there in a minute, though, as we go back to this battle between Carter, O'Brien, and Larson as it continues to rage on. Oh, Carter off the track here at the top of the hill. O'Brien and Larson going at it, coming up to Henry Hill. Big scrub off the top. Brandon Larson just having fun with it. Down to the inside and back up to where the old starting line used to rejoin with the racetrack. Woo, little squiggle coming down that hill right there. Must have been the 338 of Peter Light. Yeah, that makes sense on the passenger ride. I thought it was 336 and was a bit confused. But Peter Light going down with our runners here, and the battle still continues. Larson has gotten around Braden Carter, though. Carter's trying to fight back to the outside, but Larson throws it down the inside and defends well. He'll work down through the middle of the racetrack back up to the top over this little single jump through those ruts and then down through this tricky off-camber corner right here. It doesn't really look that off-camber, and arguably the inside line kind of isn't even off-camber anymore, but it is one of those corners that if you don't get into the rut correctly, you certainly are falling off the side of a hill a little bit, as Carter finally has a big mistake and goes down. So there's Johnson going through. And Peter Light unlapping himself. Sean Hambrook also snuck by in that chaos as Johnson putting the hammer back down, trying to close back up to this Pachone, O'Brien, Larson battle that just will not die. And up ahead, Leclerc going to work on Alec Horn on the 59. I believe this is for 4th place. Horn on the 59 impact ride coming down the hill with the 7 of Leclerc right behind him. Nico Marchini, I think, is right behind these guys. Oh, and Horn goes down off of Henry Hill. It's going to cost him a position and a lot of time, but Leclerc gains another spot as Chase Blakely runs in 3rd. Trevor Burns is in 2nd, and Tyler Lang checks in again out front with the race lead. Over halfway done here in 450 Moto number 2. Let's go ahead and give you guys a quick run through the field, get our points paying positions buttoned up a little bit, and see where everybody's at so we know what to look forward to into the second half of this race. Tyler Lang, the defending champion on the Underground RC Field Ski and Snowboard, number 1 out front, trying to go 1-1 for the first time in his 2022 campaign. Looking solid to do that. Oh, Burnsy just went down and Blakely hit him. That's going to be Leclerc maybe almost getting in a second. What just happened with those lap riders behind these guys? Oh, my goodness. So Chase Blakely, the BPC number 21, moves into 2nd place. Alexis Leclerc, the Panini Motorsports, and several cryptocurrency companies backed that number 7 machine, has moved into 3rd. I'm going to stick here for just a second because I feel like Leclerc's already trying to figure something out to go around Blakely for this 2 spot. And this could be pretty critical when it comes to points, because then Johnson has to respond and at least get back to 4th to even out the championship points on the day if Leclerc is going to get 2nd. Down the inside on the downhill, and easily done in the end. Looks like Blakely made a small bobble at the top of the hill, and that ultimately cost him as Leclerc powers down and takes over 2nd place. Back to 4th, Trevor Burns, the Fortnite passenger number 28 ride. He was 3rd in the first moto, so a very solid day for Burnsy, as a pass being made right there. The 531 of Brandon Larson, the stance ride, goes up into the top 5. Good effort for him as well. Alec Horn, the Impact 59, goes to 6th with Anthony Pachone, on the Spink 127. Hanging out in 7th, Payson Johnson, our championship leader on the Fortnite passenger number 51, is in 8th. Blake O'Brien, Privateer Life out here on the 167, runs in 9th. And Braden Carter, the number 9 Phil's Underground RC machine, rounds out the top 10. 11th, Rogan McIntosh on the stance number 60, with Sean Hambrook in 12th on the 976 ride, the Braxton Worldwide program. Adam Holm in 13th, Aspect Visual Code number 17. 14th for Trevor Spencer, SwapMotoLive.com number 57. 15th for Bob Joe on Jack Daniels Racing number 91. Brendan Castellaneta in 16th on the Underground RC Field Ski and Snowboard number 26. 17th for Austin Bear on the Yogi Designs number 70. 18th for Jack Haley on the number 2 Jack Daniels Racing ride. 19th for Jeff Cooper, Yogi Designs 117. And 20th is Caleb Hall on the Underground Ski and Snowboard Underground Phil Ski and Snowboard number 33. That's the top 20 as they run, as we crest into the final third of 450 moto number 2 coming up here in just a moment. Back to our leader, Tyler Lang, though. And this is, I'd have to imagine, got to feel really good for Lang. The championship still seems probably a bit too far out of reach, though he is gaining back a decent little bit of points here on Payson Johnson. I believe he entered the day 63 back in the championship, so he'd be 60 back right now coming into this moto. And right now I think he's pulling about 11 points on Johnson. So pulls it under a full day's racing distance to 49, I think, as it provisionally stands. But all that aside, I think Lang was going to be well disappointed to go through 2022 without at least getting a win on his tally. Clearly, he was one of the 2 best motocross riders in the world last year. Between him and Alexis Leclerc, they certainly exchanged blows all year long, with Lang eventually coming out with the title. He won a lot. He was competitive a lot. But this year, he has not been a match for Payson Johnson, and Leclerc only on a couple of his really, really good days has been equal or better than Johnson. So it's not exactly that Lang has taken a huge step back or is struggling with anything mightily in that regard, because he's still more or less in a pretty close title fight with Leclerc for second in this championship. But he just has not been able to click off the wins like he was in 2021, and that is pretty much all Johnson to thank at that point. So for him to come out here, finally get his first moto win of the season with that first moto win here tonight, and then back it up right away with a great start, get into the lead early on, and then pull away at the front. Even if he doesn't win this moto, if he crashes away late, I think he's got to feel pretty satisfied to show that, hey man, that championship last year certainly was not a fluke in any regard. I'm still going to be the MXGP World Champion this year, I believe, is the way the points are unfolding. And incredibly talented rider. Making it work here today at Budds Creek. It just seems like it's all coming together. Finally. Oh, that was Leclerc down. Blakely just went back into second place. Leclerc was down, coming down the same downhill that he passed Blakely on, I think it was 2 laps ago now. So I'm not too sure entirely what happened, but that is the 21 of Blakely back into the 2 spot. Blakely was 11th in the first moto, so kind of similar situation to Andonia's Cura in the 250 class, where it's going to be tough to pull off a podium with an 11 coming into this one, even with a second in the second moto. But scores are a little all over the place. Leclerc on a 7-3, Lang, of course, the 1-1. Trevor Burns... Leclerc on a 4-3, not a 7-3. 4-3 for Leclerc. Trevor Burns on a 3-4, so they are obviously tied, but that is more than enough to round out the podium as it runs. And then Payson Johnson, who is second in the first moto, currently running in 6th right now. And still kind of struggling is Johnson. That's the same corner he's made so many mistakes, and almost again the front wheel starting to ride up that rut just a little bit. So as he comes down to check in, once again over the finish line jump, 46.5. Payson Johnson resets fastest lap of the race on lap number 13. Boy, oh boy, he is absolutely flying right now. Let's see if he can kind of parlay this current speed that he's putting down into even a 5th or 4th place position. 4th is not that far up the road. I think a podium is pretty well out of reach for him as Leclerc goes back to work on Chase Blakely for the 2nd position here at the top of the hill. Whoa, Blakely a mistake, and in the same spot they have passed each other back and forth the last couple of laps. Leclerc almost hits Blakely again. Blakely holds the position for the time being as Leclerc trying to search for some different lines and see what works or doesn't. Inside line here, and Blakely kind of blows the outside, so an easy pass in the end. Leclerc back into 2nd place. 6 minutes left to go, plus those 2 laps. As time continues to click away here for the second 450 moto at Budds Creek. Oh, Leclerc swapping down the hill into the mechanics area. Gonna allow Blakely to close right back in. Let's see if Blakely thinks of repassing the 7, or is he content to just funnel in behind him and let a mistake potentially come about from Leclerc? over that little rising single out of the gully after the finish line jump. Leclerc goes inside. Blakely, I think, pushing to the outside a little bit there. Devin Davis on the 31 about to go a lap down as these two continue to battle it out for second place. And Blakely not willing to back down. He's still right there on Leclerc, just maybe trying to pressure him into a mistake perhaps. Different line options again. So Blakely, kind of like what Leclerc was doing, I think is trying to look at different places to see what works or doesn't while he's still this close to Leclerc, so he can know what, line kind of he gains the advantages on or loses on, and then can culminate that into actually charging after Leclerc again. But now Leclerc is starting to stretch it out enough that it's a little far gone for Blakely. He's still close enough that he can see him, but then you don't get that same feel with the gaps, and now it's really gone. Blakely goes down at the bottom of the hill. That will just cost him third place right there. No, excuse me. Burns went by. I missed that. Thought B. Lars was maybe the guy moving into third right there, which, by the way, credit to Brandon Larson. Have a day. Looking really good out here. 21st in the first moto, so no points scored, but has really come alive in this second moto. Lapping Caleb Hall right there, I think that is. So 26th place. Like, Larson almost might lap up to where he finished in the first moto. That shows how much he's turned it around in this second one. And it's not like he had a bad start of the first moto. I remember him up there. So really must have figured something out. I wonder if he changed settings a little bit in between the motos to adapt to how the track changes as the moto goes on. The terrain deformation wearing down the ruts a little bit deeper, the bumps getting bigger. Sometimes your setup is just a little off, and that little detail, you just, maybe adjust the damping a little bit so it's a little bit stiffer. Maybe you try to lower the rear a little bit so it sags a little bit more and gets better traction. Just stuff like that can help so much more than you think. But for the most part, guys don't really mess with their setup too much. They find something comfortable and stick with it, as Devin Davis stays to the outside and allows Larson through. Meanwhile, Payson Johnson is here. Wow. Where did he come from? He has snuck into the picture in a hurry. Right up to the back tire of Brandon Larson for what is now fifth position. No, fourth, actually. Because Johnson is in fifth. Is that Burns that just got picked up from that crash as well? It is. So Larson just went into third place. Oh, and Burns tries to go to the inside defense, or to, I should say, square up underneath Larson. Slides out. I don't know how Johnson hit him and stayed up, much less how Burns didn't go down. But Johnson does fortunately stay up. So Larson kind of gets away unscathed a little bit right now in fourth place. Or third place, I should say. Larson has now moved to third place and is not that far behind Alexis Leclerc, which means Payson Johnson is also not that far behind Alexis Leclerc either, and he did a 45.8 the lap before we got there. Is that Leclerc down? I believe that is Leclerc on the ground. It is. Wow. So Leclerc, who is in position to gain a pretty healthy chunk of points back on Payson Johnson at a point in time in this moto, is back to losing points to him. And now I'm starting to think Leclerc is going to be pretty in danger a little bit of T-Lang closing up championship-wise to him for second. So Leclerc having his problems as well. And again, another mistake is he almost loops out over the top of the hill. Battle for third about to commence, though. Brandon Larson has it. Payson Johnson wants it. Johnson to the outside. Larson goes defensive on the inside. Ooh, Johnson, nice scrub. Larson just probably tightening the muscles a little bit right now, as Johnson's just going to go inside to make this quick pass if he can. Oh, Larson fighting back to the outside, though. Johnson not gotten by just yet. That is going to be the move right there. Larson could not hang the rut in, and Johnson finally skirts up back into second place, actually, because Leclerc went down. So that was the battle for second, excuse me. 33 seconds off of Lang, who is our leader, and he just checked in out front with about 15 seconds still on the clock. So 3 laps to go for T-Lang out front, but Johnson has climbed a huge mountain to get all the way back to second place and is once again gaining championship points over the man who was second coming into this, Alexis Leclerc. It was a 47-point gap coming into this moto. As they run, it's out to 51 on Leclerc specifically, but we're going to have to do the math a little bit on T-Lang and see where Lang was coming into this moto and how much he's gaining, because he gained 7 points, or excuse me, 3 points on Johnson in the first moto. He's going to gain 6 points on the day on him, but I don't think that's enough to close up to Leclerc just yet. But a 51-point provisional championship lead right now for Payson Johnson. So if you're Leclerc, got to get a move on because the pressure is on. This championship is really slipping away at this point, to the point where Johnson could even clinch it next weekend, or next week, I should say. Oh, and another mistake for Leclerc. Here's Blakely to the inside to make a quick little move and push Leclerc back to 5th and open up the provisional championship lead out to 53 points over Leclerc for Johnson. Was Johnson, did he just go down? He did. Larson is back into second place. And Johnson's right in front of these guys up at the top of the hill. Just saw the flash of green at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. There he is again. So Leclerc, while he's working on Blakely, suddenly Johnson has slipped back to this group a little bit, and Leclerc shoots by Blakely into 4th place. It is only 2 points being gained now for Johnson on Leclerc, provisionally 49 points as they run. So how does Johnson regroup from crashing by himself and handing second place back to Brandon Larson? 2-lap board is out for our race leader, Tyler Lang, so pressure's on. Johnson cannot afford another mistake or Leclerc will get back by him. Up and down to the finish line jump. Johnson putting the afterburners back on as Larson down after the finish line jump goes from 2nd to 5th in a heartbeat, as Blakely also goes by chasing Leclerc. That puts Johnson back into 2nd, Leclerc now in 3rd, Blakely 4th, and Larson 5th. Excuse me. Leclerc high centering on the rut a little bit. Blakely sensing an opportunity once again to pounce on the 7. These two have been locked together quite a bit the last 10 minutes or so. Whew. Claire hopping off the top of that hill, way down to the bottom. Sketchy, too, to go up for that quad because you go a little bit long. You're landing right in the face of that next little uphill and can easily go down. Where did Johnson go? What? Johnson suddenly was back in 6th behind everybody. And he's in 5th now. I totally did not see him off the track, and I don't know where he was, but that is huge because Leclerc is suddenly gaining points in the championship again. He will be down to 41 back instead of 43, what it was when they entered this moto. Or entered the day, I should say. They entered this moto at 47. So Burns trying to catch up to Blakely for 3rd, or losing it here. Burns trying to catch up to Larson for 3rd, excuse me, with Leclerc moving into 2nd place. And these overalls are certainly a scrambled batch right now. Going to be tough to figure it out. But of course, Burns would love to get around Larson. That's going to help a ton with Larson making a mistake. It's a drag race up the hill out of the middle, and Burns gets it done. So Larson pushed back to 4th. As Burns suddenly looking at a 3-3 today. And Leclerc's down! Leclerc, just as he was gaining those points back, allows Johnson and the the pack right behind him to go back by. Unbelievable how much crashing is happening, and Larson going right back after Burns for second now of this race. Larson is not content with a career best third place finish in this moto. He wants second. He wants to get around Burns. Leclerc wants to get around Johnson. We got 4 riders nose to tail. All the while up front, Tyler Lang is coming to the flag. And for the first time this year, he's going to win both motos. His first 2 moto wins of the year coming back-to-back succession here. And it's going to be the overall win. Tyler Lang claims Budds Creek. So Burns holding off Larson. Leclerc got back around Johnson, and he's trying to get around as Blakely, I think that was. No, excuse me, as a lapped rider. Leclerc just got around Larson for third. Johnson went down again. He's trying to get back around Blakely off the top of Henry Hill. Blakely, oh, wow. Johnson goes deep at the bottom of the hill, and Blakely gets back by. So Leclerc still trying. Oh, he's trying to get after Burns here on the last lap of the race as well. Now remember, Burns is Johnson's teammate. Leclerc to the inside, tries to get a nose in there. Is just going to fall short, I think. Oh, it was so close. 1/10 at the line. Burns gets second. Larson gets fourth. Blakely will survive to get fifth in this moto. And Johnson crashed again late, will get sixth. And we'll have to see if cuts affect the Leclerc versus Burns battle for third or for second as Johnson comes across in sixth. Adam Holm will get seventh. Brandon Carter coming to the line in eighth. Jeff Cooper looks like he'll get ninth. Blake O'Brien will get 10th. Sean Hambrook 11th. Jack Haley right behind him in 12th, but he's going to slide out. And Castellaneta, last guy in the lead lap, in 13th. Alec Horn was 14th. Anthony Pachone ends up 15th. Cooper Hunt in 16th. Daniel Mills 17th. Rogan McIntosh 18th. Bob Joe in 19th. And Ashton Rakowski gets the final points paying position of 20th. So we're waiting for basically Castellaneta to finish up. He's the only points paying position still not to finish as Haley crosses in 12th. But what the heck just happened? So assuming Leclerc stays in third place, he will just have gone 4-3, which is enough for 38 points on the day. Johnson will have just gone 2-6, which is enough for 37 points on the day. So Leclerc gains 1 point back on the championship scenario today from 43 down to 42. But if he gains another spot right here, he gets another 2 points, pulls it down to 40 with 4 motos still left to go. We're about to see, though, his cuts will be finalized in just a moment. We'll see if he leapfrogs Burns or if anything else changes in this grouping. But pretty certain Lang has got the overall win, official results or not. And here we go. No, he misses out by the skin of his teeth. They both had 0.9 seconds of cuts. Burns had 0.95. Leclerc had 0.91. Had Leclerc not had any cuts whatsoever, he would have gotten second, but he does gain 1 point back in the championship today and pulls it down from 43 to 42 as Lang goes 1-1. He's also going to be in the picture as well, so that's going to be something we're going to have to talk about moving forward for the battle, at least of second in the championship. And what a crazy, crazy night. So overalls, Lang 1-1, Burns 3-2 will get second, and Leclerc with a 4-3 gets third. Johnson with a 2-6 gets fourth, I believe. Wow, crazy. And B-Lars, I think, a career best fourth place in this moto. Incredible, incredible stuff. But congratulations, Tyler Lang, taking the win here tonight at Budds Creek. Wow, what a night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Crazy night of racing here at Budds Creek. A champion crowned in the 250 class. If you didn't get to catch it, we interviewed Logan Leitzel after he won the first 250 moto and claimed the 250 national championship. So many congratulations, of course, to Logan Leitzel and the Yogi Designs program for taking home the #1 plate in the 250 division. 450 class provided some fireworks there at the end for us to make it a little bit more interesting moving forward. And we still have a championship alive in this 450 class as we head to Ironman Raceway next week for the Indiana National. And we hope to see you guys then. Same time, same place, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. That is 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Start Your Systems on YouTube, Innit Esports on Twitch, or ESTV. So thank you guys wherever it is that you tuned in watching us here tonight. We really appreciate you supporting and watching round 10 of the AMA Esport Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. Big shout out, of course, to Innit Esports and Race Raptor Gaming for putting the series on, and all of you fans for tuning in every single week and watching these broadcasts. We'll see you next week for Iron Man as we drop the gate on round 11 of the championship, but we are heading out of here for tonight. So see you guys later. So long for now.